can't you see? I really hate the fucking Portuguese. The world would just be better off without them. They all should die of some damn disease. Welcome to the House of Auger. I am your host, the man of the house, GT Auger, and with me are my co-hosts, Adam, Metalface, Joel, and Nicole, and maybe Mac will join us. I don't know. He's here sometimes, and sometimes he's not.
Can I just say that was a lovely, totally not personal at all intro song. Very wonderful. Just from a musical perspective, definitely not like. Obviously, this wasn't like directed at anyone, but
yeah, no, I told her I'd fucking sing to her. I didn't say it was gonna be nice. Fucking bitch. I'm just kidding. I love you.
Are we going to explain the background to that, or are we just going to leave everyone else hanging?
Allison is Portuguese. Allison's a bitch whore, and so that song is for her and her bitch whore fucking people. By the way, this episode is going to be about racial tension, and race wars. And so how apropos that we should start about how everyone in the world fucking agrees that the Portuguese aren't even human. So, and that's all we need to really say about that. You know, they're not human, right? Right. Everybody agrees. So now we move on.
This is a really short show.
Right?
So, you know I'm kidding, Allison. I love you. Allison and I hate each other, but we love each other. We love to hate each other. And so this is how we show our love, by ripping on each other. And I'm sure she's...
Did we actually lose him?
He is gone.
He's gone.
Yep, totally gone.
Oh, wow.
That's what he gets.
Yep.
Hey, Joel, by the way, a lot of scraping is coming through on your mic. I don't know if that's anything you can
Yeah,
help.
I hear it too.
But...
I'll make an adjustment.
All right, cool.
Less teeth, Nicole. Calm down, lady.
Save it for after the show.
And then send it to me on a live feed, please.
Yeah, I mean,
You got it.
or just clean up your audio setup, you know, and at least get the production value a little bit higher. If you're going to be on the show.
My audio setup is the iPad laying on my chest, and I'm trying to talk into it.
Yeah, you always rub it all over your shirt.
Well, that's why I put it on a pillow now, so shut up.
Hey, there you go.
I don't think Josh even knows he's gone.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
This
He's
first
probably
segment
still
is just going
talking.
to be all him, and so
Yeah.
he's under the impression that he doesn't get kicked anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So-
and he hasn't been getting kicked.
When taking bets now, everyone in chat, place your bets as to how long it will take from right now, I will say, until he notices. And
I say it could be maybe another 2 minutes.
okay.
But
I should take pity and text him. He's got to figure it out when nobody responds.
Well, no,
Don't you
then you would be
fucking dare.
rigging the bet.
Don't
I've
you
already
do it.
set up set up a gamble for
I
all
know,
of our
we have to go with
participants,
it now.
and you're rigging it.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
I
can't go
won't.
doing
I
that.
won't.
Okay.
Oh, man, he's probably still going on about Allison. Oh, man, are we really doing Race War tonight?
Yeah, I don't even know
even-
what that's in reference to.
Right?
Me either.
Talk
Like-
about MeWe, and I put it
Yeah.
on one of the promos. I
He was-
Race War?
Insistent.
I don't think Brandy knows how to maybe join the voice chat.
Okay. Must claim and verify your account before you can send messages in this server. What is
Uh-oh.
that?
I don't know. Do you have
She
any
just said-
idea, Adam?
Let me take a look.
Yeah, I didn't have to do that. With mine.
I'll send a screenshot of it. She sent it to me, or in the.
Yeah,
Actually, I think it's in.
I'm in that.
Yeah,
chat.
he can see it.
Okay, yeah, you're in 3 chat. Never mind.
anyway, for those of y'all who have just tuned in, we are waiting to see how long Josh will be till he figures out he got kicked. And we are apparently talking about a race war that I have no idea that is going on. I don't know. I want to talk about Thanksgiving and how it sucks and being around family is shitty. But I guess race war
No,
is
I mean,
similar.
we can go and talk about that while
while
the
waiting.
clock is ticking.
Yeah.
So, by the way, bet update, it looks like Scott is out of the running officially.
Yep.
It was like mid 8:04 when I placed the opened the betting pool. Scott bet 30 seconds. It is now like 8:07, well into that minute. So if Auger were to come back right now, Sarbama would win.
Oh. Hey, I said 3 minutes too.
Okay. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, we can share that title.
I think you said 2, but this
did
is why
I?
you should
Oh, I
put
did
it
say
in chat.
2. Damn it.
You
You're
should
right.
put it in chat.
You're right.
Just so you have proof.
Yeah, no, you're right. I remember
Hey,
now.
she made it in chat.
Yay.
Yeah, there she is.
Hey, Brandy.
I don't know if she can hear us. She's not in the audio channel.
Oh, yeah, she can't. Never mind. So, Adam, are you doing anything for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'm visiting my in-laws, which are way closer than my extended family. Because, yeah, my parents are going to Tennessee, but I am going down to Houston, where
Cool.
my wife's family lives.
So, do you have family? You have family in Tennessee then?
That's where my parents are from, yes.
Oh,
no
what
shit.
Josh is
part?
back. It was a total of 4 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So I still believe that Sarbama wins the prize. With
Yeah,
3
he
being the
does.
closest.
I didn't get kicked from the system. I kicked myself, I think. I hit the wrong button. There's 2 buttons. Okay, so when you go into the voice chat, there's the button with the phone and the X in the bottom right-hand
Right.
corner.
Yeah.
And I think I hit that one thinking that would keep me in. And I've been talking to myself for the last 4 minutes.
We thought so.
It wasn't until I said, "So what do you guys think about that?" And nobody fucking answered me back. And I was like, "Oh."
So, what were you
So-
talking about?
I went into, what was the last thing you guys heard me say? Because I was talking about the hate crime statistics.
Oh,
you
God,
I
just
didn't hear any
started
of that.
nothing.
No.
Start over
Yeah,
the
you can-
entire thing.
Yeah, you were gone for like over 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, y'all heard me talking about how much the Portuguese aren't human, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was about the last
Okay.
thing we heard.
And then I went into, and how apropos that this episode is
Mhm.
about hate crime statistics. That's what I wanted to talk about to start off
Well,
with.
you said race war, yeah, and then you got cut off.
Race war. Okay. So, the FBI put out hate crime statistics for last year, for 2017. New FBI data. And everybody reporting on it is like, hate crimes have increased. Welcome to Trump's America. And that's about the extent of the depth of detail that they're getting into what the FBI data shows. And it's really bullshit, because when you look at the details of what the data shows, it's a lot more complicated than that. And it actually shows some it shows a disconnect from mainstream media and what they've been kind of pushing, the narrative they've been pushing for the last year, which is, of course, that America's more racist than ever. Black people are more persecuted than ever. Whites are more racist than they've ever been. And transgenders are practically being, chased down in the streets and persecuted and strung up like black people. I mean, that's kind of the feel that you would get if all you paid attention to was me and social networking. It's if you went off the social networking alone, I definitely get this impression that there's way more transgenders than there really are, and everyone hates them, and they're being murdered in the streets, practically. None of that's true, of course. And so I want to kind of go over. I posted a couple of screenshots of some of the of a brief synopsis.
You did?
Some of the
Where?
I
don't
posted
see.
them in the chat
I
before
just
the show
post-
started.
Oh, well, that's what
Oh.
I just reposted some from Unbiased America.
I think y'all
Yeah,
posted.
that's what I posted.
Yep,
Okay.
y'all posted the same.
I figured that's where you probably got it from.
Yep.
So I just reposted it. You can see it now.
There was a 17% increase from 2016 to 2017. However, a good portion of that could be, and I believe this is probably the case, due to the fact that something like 1,000 new law enforcement agencies are now participating in the hate crime statistics program. And it kind of falls in line with the increase, because I think 2016, 6,100 something hate crimes were reported. And then 2017, it's 7,100 something. So it's an average of one extra hate crime per new law enforcement agency. So is the increase we're seeing due to an actual increase in hate crimes, or is it just that we're now seeing what wasn't being reported before? I tend to believe that it's that we're just seeing what wasn't being reported before.
I feel too like it would be worth looking at like what exactly qualifies as a hate crime and whether that definition has maybe changed or broadened in any way.
Yeah.
Well, they actually break it down. What they do, what Unbiased America doesn't show you, is the graphs that they had. I saw them somewhere. I should have probably taken screenshots of those or
Yeah, you should
something.
have.
But they break down they break down the majority of hate crimes are I forget what the percentages were. There was a pie graph, but the biggest piece was race related. The next biggest piece was religious, and then what was the other one? I want to say.
Hold on, I'm fine.
affiliation.
I've got it here. I've got it right here. I'm going to screenshot it and send it. Okay, go ahead.
But if you take the pie chart that they had from 2016 and the pie chart that they have with the new increase, they're virtually identical. So it's not like we're seeing a jump in any one spot.
Right. One category.
However, to some of the things that they mention, and we'll go over them. The upward trend that they keep blaming Trump for actually started in 2014, 2015, which was a year before Donald Trump even declared his candidacy. So yet again, we're blaming Trump for everything. On top of that, the demographic that saw the largest percent increase in hate crimes, surprise, surprise, was fucking white people, not fucking Muslims or Jews or, blacks or anybody else, but white people. On top of that, Muslims actually decreased in hate crimes, or anti-Muslim hate crimes decreased. And then the number of gender identity related hate crimes was cut by a third. So like this narrative that, people hate blacks more and people, nobody can stand the transgenders is just not true. I think it's curious to me that this isn't being focused on more, because I think it really highlights how we're being manipulated by our mainstream media. Because what we're being given as an impression, possibly because they finally figured out their gender, I don't know what she means by that. What the data is showing us and what we're seeing from the mainstream media, those two narratives they clash. They don't mesh. And I think that's, I think we should be focusing more on that. I think we should be holding, especially with this plays a part, in my opinion, with this narrative that we live in a dangerous time where we're constantly, the press is being persecuted, and there's this dangerous precedent being set by the Trump administration, calling them, the enemy of the people. Well, when you manipulate data, when you lie, when you present a narrative that isn't true according to the actual statistics, what else are we supposed to see? How would you, what other conclusion is there to make?
And that's what a lot of people don't realize is when Trump calls the media fake news, or when he points out the fake news media, what that actually means is not what people think it means is flat out bold-faced lies.
Right.
Okay? Just
Not
flat out saying
like
the sky is green, birds live underground, stuff like that, where it's just patently untrue. What it actually is most of the time, though, is lying by omission. And you've kind of hinted at that here. That's exactly what's happening, is they're just saying a statement that in and of itself is technically true. That, hate crimes in the U.S. are up in recent years. Okay. And then they just leave it at that.
Right. And they let you draw your own conclusions.
Yeah.
And without that data, all you're left with, and what you would assume based on the last year's worth of stories that get focused on or highlighted by the news. Because what have they been highlighting? They've been highlighting all the stuff about anytime a white guy shoots or gets mad at anybody who's non-white. All these, this collection of people that they keep rhyming their name.
Parkland.
Public Park Patty, or all those people who call the cops for stupid reasons. What was the last one? That lady who claimed that the little kid touched her ass. It's always some white person, and it's always usually a black person doing something that's seemingly not worth calling the cops on, right? So that it's that kind of narrative. Like it's either that or flat out shooting Jews in synagogues and punching black people for no good reason.
Yeah, and there are so many of these cases where, later on, once the story develops, then the news media will issue a correction, but by then the damage is done. News moves so fast today, especially on Twitter, that a story will spread within an hour. And
not only that, but there's some stories that should be fucking global news that they're not reporting on at all. Mainstream media it's almost like they're intentionally blackballing certain world news issues. And the example that I would give to that is this, the November March Forward, I think it's called. Maybe I have the name wrong. The March Front, the Forward March, something like that, which is the Palestinian protest against Israel, which has been taking place. It was supposed to be for a month. I think it started 2 months ago. You guys might have remembered at the beginning of it, you heard about innocent Palestinian protesters being shot at or injured.
Yeah, which
by
is just
Israeli soldiers,
nonsense.
which a complete fabrication or manipulation of the actual situation. Number one. Number two, recently there were, I think Linda Sarsauer and some other people reported on this, that there were 7 Palestinians that were killed recently by Israelis. What they fail to mention, and what they painted as though it's 7 innocent Palestinians.
Yeah.
They were all members of Hamas.
Yeah. A terrorist organization.
These were
not
only
literal
a
terrorists,
organization, but the elected government of the Palestinian people. Can you imagine if we elected Antifa as our government? You know what I mean? It's that kind of insanity. What are you talking about?
These people are constantly the Israel-Palestine conflict is probably the biggest example of like actual media malfeasance and like blatant manipulation. Because like it's one thing to like twist a story over here because a lot of people will eventually find out the truth. And then it's just like, okay, like any spin that you could, there's a limit to how much spin you can put on it. But with Israel and Palestine, we're so far removed from that situation that unless you're actively following it, all you're going to get is the selective media coverage where Israel fights back.
Yeah.
And it's like no coverage whatsoever when Palestine launches 400 rockets into Israeli territory with the intent of harming civilians, mind you.
Innocent civilians.
Yeah.
There were if I remember correctly, liquor stores, hospitals, and schools that were that were targeted. I don't know if they were intentionally targeted, but they were hit by these rockets. And if we're talking about the same thing, it was a milestone because it was the most rockets fired in like a day by Hamas at Israel. And
it might have been the same instance, but
they paint Israel as though Israel's the bad guy here.
Yeah, like as if they're the aggressor in this situation. When that you cannot look at everything that has actually happened and come away with that conclusion.
You can't.
Unless you actively ignore every single time the Palestinians have done things.
Exactly. And so this is, to me, it's that kind of thing. And then the at-home stories that get highlighted and the ones that don't, it makes a difference. Yeah. And it paints, it's this narrative, which the statistics don't corroborate, that points out the issue, the real issue that we have with mainstream media. It's amazing to me the kind of defense that we're seeing coming from the left. 20 years ago, I swear to God, it was the left who fucking hated the mainstream media and who, or maybe not hated, but distrusted them and distrusted our intelligence community. Because the left saw the CIA as being responsible for putting, crack cocaine on the streets in the ghettos. So you're anti-minority. The minute you're anti-minority, you're anti-left. So fuck the CIA. Fuck the intelligence community. Now, because Trump hates, or I shouldn't say it like that, because Trump has put himself against mainstream media, the left is now in support of them. Because Trump puts himself against I distrust the intelligence community. Well, now we trust them. Like what? This dissonance, this complete wishy-washy flip-flop is so.
I honestly don't think it was Trump that allied the mainstream media with the left. I think that relationship goes back way further.
I agree.
Yeah.
You don't think that helped solidify it?
No, what I think the change in the mainstream media is they is now they're at least open about it, or at least more open about it. They still try to claim like, oh yeah, we're objective, we're real news, but nobody's falling for it anymore. That's the difference. Whereas before they were a lot more subtle about their bias, but that bias has existed for as long as I can remember.
Oh, that I'm not disagreeing with. I bias is always, for decades, I believe that bias has existed. It's the people.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't even know about that, but like maybe I think what you're kind of describing is kind of that like pseudo left, like kind of counterculture.
It's
kind of
not
like
pseudo left counterculture. Can you elaborate on what you mean by that?
The whole like anti-government kind of attitude that exists on the left, that kind of punk rock kind of attitude.
Well,
the establishment and all that. Yeah, the anti-establishment stuff. Like
it was made in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
it's gone. It's gone. That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know where that somehow that transferred over to the right. The people who distrust the government, the people who are anti-establishment, are on the right now.
Yeah. Now, maybe it's I don't know if it's the same people necessarily, but that sentiment has definitely become more of a right-wing sentiment than a left-wing.
Mm-hmm.
You have a new culture that's being bred on both sides. I think there's one that's been finally established and has been there for a while now. Like on the left, I mean, the inmates have taken over the asylum on that side of things, and that's evident by the people who are now getting voted in. You know, you've got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who I can't explain it in any other way. I can't explain. You're talking about the liberal left, which used to be about intelligence, right? And about having the moral high ground. You know, we care about people, and we care about education, and we care about intelligence. And you've got this woman who represents them saying shit like, make sure you vote for the three branches of, or what did you call it?
The three branches of Congress. The three chambers of Congress. It's like, no.
This is a far cry from the liberal elite of the 60s of these guys who were coming out of Maine and the East Coast, you know. This is so different.
Well, I mean, Ocasio is a less well-spoken Bernie Sanders. Bernie is
a complete idiot, basically.
Yeah. I mean, well, they have the two of them have the same belief system. It's that it's just that Bernie is way more articulate.
Right.
And he can word it in a way that
not just
people can
he's
resonate
way more
to.
educated.
Yes. Like if you actually like analyze the policies that they're pushing, they're basically the same person. It's just the way they present that. Ocasio makes herself look stupid whenever she opens her mouth. Bernie does not.
Right, because she literally doesn't understand actually anything that she's saying.
Yeah.
She was inspired by Bernie and decided to run because she was useless because she was a bartender with an economic. And she's really,
the world's most useless economics degree.
Yeah, nobody would hire her.
Did she get her economics degree from a fucking Cracker Jack box?
Anybody can get a degree if you go to college.
Yeah, seriously,
it's really not that hard.
So easy.
It's just not difficult.
In the background, so easy.
It is.
Man. It really is. I mean, I didn't go to classes for God's sakes. Right? I got A's. I just showed up for tests and quizzes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God!
There's nothing difficult.
Anything. That's stupid.
No, you can. You just.
I almost got a nursing degree without trying at all.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you imagine, like, a nurse walking into your room and he's like, "Hey, it's Mac." Going, "Hey, I have to give you a shot. I don't really know what I'm doing."
And like,
I think it's.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
Give me one of your arms. I don't know which one. It probably doesn't matter.
Whereas you also have like somebody like Face who is like actually like really knowledgeable about this stuff, but not because she has like a degree. But it's like, oh, she just needed to learn this stuff for piercing. You know?
Exactly.
Whereas Mac, who is like, yeah, I'm going to get a nursing degree, is just like, yeah, whatever. I'll just not try.
It worked.
Oh my God.
I'd like to think I look a little better in the little costume, though, than Mac. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. Mac's got that pretty little shaved face. He could look cute in a little bit of, a blonde wig, some makeup,
give me 6 months.
Remember that scene from the Batman movie with Joker, and Joker walked in with that cutesy little nurse outfit? I could see Mac doing that.
Oh,
I'd prefer if you reference the 300, but
there's no nurse in 300. What are you talking about?
Well, you maybe never mind. Maybe.
I did not get where you were going with that.
Were you about to disclose some of your own personal fetishes? Well, you remember that one guy in the background in the scene where he comes,
the little hunchback.
Oh, it's that one. That's what he's into. Okay.
Yep.
The truth comes out.
You know what? Leave it to the army guys.
I'm posting a rare photo of McIntyre in his nursing outfit.
Jack of all trades.
I couldn't find the bald guy with a quick search, but oh well.
He looks like he's about. I have to take your temperature.
Rectally.
That's too funny. So
Cortez,
okay,
yes, she's a more. Yeah.
No, go ahead. What was that?
I was just bringing us back to Ocasio-Cortez is a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Has a degree because she liked Bernie. She thought what he said was great, but she doesn't understand she understands economics even less than he does, which he doesn't understand economics at all. And she just tries to parrot what he says, but since she doesn't even have a real understanding of anything, it all comes out in a jumbled mess because she's stupider than shit.
Right. Well, you'd have to be a socialist. So the point is, in order for this, she represents the new left.
Right.
I think all the young leftist liberals are being aptly represented by Ocasio-Cortez, and I think that they are very very soon to take over from the of Pelosi and Waters and their ilk. And I think you're seeing on the GOP side, I think there's an uprising there as well. And I think it's from I think Trump is representative, even though I don't consider him much of a Republican, not in the old sense of what a Republican is. I think he pays tribute in certain ways. I don't think he's religious personally.
No, not at all.
No.
But he pays lip service to it. Praise God.
He at least respects it.
Right.
Or at least pretends to enough.
Yeah,
his past sexual conduct has not been anything that any Christian would condone, but
at the same
that's
time,
obviously more of a Catholic situation.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what though? I have to say,
I mean, no, they were all of age, so it can't be Catholic.
Nice.
I have to say though, based on the last 20 years or so that I've seen of Christians in the spotlight, I think his behavior, if anything, is a little bit on the better side. He got married a couple of different times. He might have cheated a couple of different times. I've seen a
little more than a couple.
I've seen a lot worse from a lot of other notable celebrities who claim to be Christians. They're tapping.
Especially with people with power, there's nothing, you won't find more hypocrites than among people like that.
Right. And I feel that he's, I think that the uprising that we're seeing is representative of, or how would I put this? It's well represented by Trump in the sense that he's an outsider, and I think there's an outsider perspective that is taking hold within the GOP, in the sense that the old guard being replaced by the new, where the new GOP kind of doesn't really pay. It doesn't put that much emphasis on religion. Yes, it pays respect or lip service to it, but we don't really care if you fuck guys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
No, that's completely true. The GOP has, since the gay marriage thing ended, the Republican Party has completely loosened up on social issues.
Yes.
They're no longer that curmudgeonly old person that's saying, no, these people can't marry these people, and
right.
that's just not a thing anymore.
No, the fire and brimstone Bible Belt attitude is gone.
Yeah.
And I think that leaves room for more important issues to be focused on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, you know, who's whispering? What was that about?
I think that was Nicole whispering to Joel.
Man, I can't believe the microphone picked that up.
You have a very hot mic. Like,
Who is she trying to summon?
What was she whispering about? Was she whispering about, like, I want you to wear this after the show, or
on
I'm going to put
our local
fishnets on, or
on our local talk show that's hosted by a libertarian guy. Yeah, they were talking about marijuana legalization and whatnot, and this 82-year-old dude from around Austin called in, and he's like, and we were dying because he's like, I lost my son to marijuana, and the radio show host is like, wait a minute, he's dead. You go, no, but he uses it, and now he's dead to me, or some shit like that. Because he's lazy, he won't get a job. And I've got so many friends that have lost their children to marijuana in the same way.
They're disappointed in them.
Yeah, it just means that they're too lazy to be useful humans at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what they told me. I was like, so basically, you're just really disappointed in them because they don't have jobs. And like, well, yeah, and it's just a curse and a scourge in this country. It was the most pathetic shit.
So that type of Republican's still out there,
Yes.
but they're dying.
Yeah, they're dying though. Yeah,
Probably, they do still vote too.
and like, I mean, even regarding the gay marriage thing, there's like that conservative Christian base still exists. They're just no longer. It's no longer a political issue.
Right.
they're not the ones running the show anymore.
Because it's been ruled against, so there's really nothing they can do.
Yeah,
so
there's really no fight to be had. It's like, okay, that, you know,
it's great. It's
this one side won. That's cool. Like,
you know, and that's another thing too, is I feel like the changing of the guard in the GOP is kind of being accepted, or it feels that way at least. It seems as though the old guard is kind of like, yeah, all right, we get it. And is just kind of willing to either change or just willing to step aside. Whereas within the liberal left, I feel like the old guard is like, oh, I don't think so. Like Pelosi can't stand Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, well, of course not. The real the actual politicians on the Democrats, they hate her guts because she's an idiot, and they hate the fact that she's also got all this press, and the press is so glowing, even though the left press is finally like, oh my god, she's an idiot.
Yeah, like the old guard is like, yeah, we'll just have Nancy Pelosi as speaker again. Should all work out.
Right.
And then Ocasio-Cortez, wasn't she protesting outside of Pelosi's office?
No, what happened was she was like speaking to them, and basically like saying, basically her message to these protesters. The protest was already happening, and then she kind of not even joined in, but more just like spoke to them and was like, basically like, hey, I really appreciate the enthusiasm you're bringing. You know, I personally am siding with Pelosi because I think that we need to be united, which is actually smart politically. But yeah, so like the headlines were pretty inaccurate as to because it's like, it's again, technically she was quote unquote part of this protest, but more of as just speaking to them rather than joining in on what they were protesting about.
Although, to be honest, I don't understand why any Democrat would want Pelosi as Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
as bad as she is.
Here's why.
200 members. Why not choose somebody better? Just
she really should have retired a couple years ago.
Here's why, and I'll tell you why. There's nobody on the Democrat side who can pull the funding, who has the connections to the money like Pelosi does. Pelosi controls the money, and when you control the money, you get to pretty much pick your fucking seat. You want to be the fucking House Speaker. If the rest of the DNC wants to see funding, that then you kind of have to let her do what she does. So that's her pull. That's her sway.
Yeah, fair point.
But yeah, I just I think that it's a shame that we're not paying more that we're not focusing more on the positive that the FBI data, the statistics are showing us, which is essentially that in the cases that we're most concerned about, Muslim, hate crimes. What's the background noise I'm hearing?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, somebody's got feedback.
I'm still on push to talk, so it's not me.
Yours is off, right?
On mute?
Yeah, Nicole's on mute. Can't be her.
Is it me?
Paul was unmuted. I muted him, though.
Yeah, it was that guy.
He doesn't have a headset,
Yeah.
so I know it's fucking Paul.
Back there playing Battleship.
He's also still has co-host privileges from the one time when our Admon chat crapped out on us.
I'm gonna have to fix that.
Don't try to take that away from him.
I mean, it does mean he can unserver mute himself, which I don't know if any one man should have all that
we'll
power.
Just hate on him.
That's a dangerous power to give an Englishman.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a license.
I know,
Do
he
you have a
says,
license
"How
for
dare you
that?"
silence men." Yeah, silence men.
Do you think he's drunk?
Well, it's a Tuesday and he's working though, so I don't know if he's drunk or not. Are you
I
drunk,
mean-
Paul?
If he's not drunk, he's high. It's one of the two.
Yeah,
It's one of the two. So
he's high. Okay, he answered.
Hi. Okay.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. So what else is going on right now? Anybody else got a?
Did y'all talk about your hate crime thing?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, one more thing
Have
on the
you
hate
not
crime thing.
fucking been-
Yeah,
go for it.
So I don't know if any of you have heard about this debacle that happened a few days ago with Chipotle.
Yes.
No.
I didn't.
So basically, for those of you that don't know what happened, there was a
Hashtag believe women.
video. No, this was in this case you should believe the woman because she's telling the truth. So what happened was there was a video that somebody tweeted that they filmed, and it's this group of young black men that went into Chipotle, and the manager is like, "Look, like, no, you have to pay for your food before we're gonna like make your food.
Start making it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
they're acting all incensed.
and yeah, they're like,
shocked and
wow,
hurt.
like, can't believe it, like, bunch of black dudes, like, you don't trust us to have money and blah blah blah. And the
they're
woman
even
is
asking
like,
the guys, the other customers, like, oh, did they do that to you too? They didn't do that
Yeah.
to you. How come you didn't do it to him? But you're doing it to us.
Yeah. And, you know, picking out a white customer specifically to kind of make it a race thing. And so this tweet goes viral. Every media outlet
Chipotle
picks up on it. Yeah, Chipotle fires the manager that wanted them to pay first. There's only one problem, though. This group of kids, like, had a long history of dining and dashing. And they openly bragged about it on social media, including the same Twitter account that posted the video.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that fell apart really fast. Chipotle rehired her correctly.
Good.
Well,
But
they offered her job back, and she took it.
yeah, which honestly, I would have just milked it, like sue them for you know.
Well, I would have renegotiated it.
Hey,
but
man,
I'd been like,
that assistant manager
I want
position is
compensation
really,
for the defamation of character you just put me
Yeah,
through.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just painted me as the fucking racist to the whole world.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, and there were like mainstream media headlines that were actually like flat out labeling it a racist thing.
Mm-hmm. All the usual suspects on Twitter were doing it.
Yeah.
Tariq Nasheed, John King, Ryan Knight, a bunch of the others were like, "Look at this racist bitch. Racism is alive and well in America. This is Trump's America.
Trump's America, KKKA."
Yeah.
Yeah. How quickly that fell apart.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. No,
And now-
it's
but-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's and so I think the headlines were something along the lines of like Chipotle rehires manager who refused service to 4 young black males. Which again is technically true. But the way they're painting it makes it it forces you to draw the wrong conclusion. Like it's just flat out wrong, the conclusion that it implies. And that's how fake news works. It's not saying things that are patently untrue. It's misleading headlines. It's lying by omission. That's how this works.
Well, and that brings up another. You reminded me of another aspect of this whole hate crime issue, and that is the seeming trend of fake hate crimes.
Oh
you had
so many of that.
Yeah.
Right. You had the two that come off the top of my head are the Muslim woman on the bus who claimed that a bunch of white boys harassed her and took her hijab, and that was untrue. Came out later that wasn't, and she admitted it. There's the black folks who fucking drew swastikas.
Yeah,
I think it was black folks, right?
No, yeah, it was. There's been several cases of that. There's been several cases of that where people will draw swastikas, and it turns out they're left-wing black people. Like, this is that's happened several times from what I remember.
You had the two. You had those 2 black girls on. They were. I think they were on a bus.
God damn it.
Or a subway, and they claimed that. What is going on?
Joel, you want to stop what you're doing to Nicole real quick?
No, we're laughing.
Yeah.
Y'all hear all that background noise?
Yes. He has a very sensitive microphone.
Paul unmuted himself again.
Oh.
I was banned.
Wow.
No, it's not me.
But
Paul,
they were
mute yourself, you fuck. You're causing a bunch of background noise, you crazy psycho fuck. Mute yourself.
He's muted now.
All right. So, anyway, you have a lot of these cases where people are reporting hate crimes that they themselves actually perpetrated. And it's curious. It seems to be a trend. And it's like, what's going on with that?
I think that a lot of people who desperately want the narrative to be true. I think what it is, because you saw a very similar thing with Kavanaugh. Remember, because like the Ford allegations came out, and then you have these other women who now have flat out come out and said, "Yeah, we made the whole thing up."
Right.
Yep.
You know, and so that it's kind of the same thing where they and what I think is happening, just to not to kind of like psychoanalyze just a little bit, is what I think is happening is they perceive that the narrative is true, but what they see is, oh, people aren't taking it seriously enough. So what I'm going to do is create this hoax that people will fall for that will help my case. And if I don't get caught, then that'll be just more evidence so that people can deal with this problem that I perceive. And
right.
Of course, that's...
Which is so... I mean, the method to that madness...
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Is astounding.
Yeah, it's awful. Like, if you have to lie to make a political point, like, or a social point, you know, like, you're part of the problem, to be honest. Like, if you're complaining about people drawing swastikas and you draw a swastika to prove that it's a problem, you're part of the problem by definition. Like, you drew a freaking swastika. Like, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, Allison brings up another one, that Mexican man, the old man who got beat up by a racist. I remember that story.
Oh, yeah.
And then they kept it so quiet for as long as they could that it turned out to be a black woman.
Yep.
And then some black men later who came back to beat his ass some more.
Yeah.
And it was all black people.
And no, and that's another example of...
as though it was a white guy.
That's another example of bad headlines, because what I remember, the headline was something to the effect of Mexican man gets beaten up.
Right.
And the implication
But it
is
was
obvious, like that it was a,
A hate
bigoted,
crime.
basically a racist, assumedly white person that is
Right.
beating this man up for being Mexican.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's like, no, that's not true. It's just a guy that got beaten up who happened to be Mexican, but that's not really relevant to the story. But why it makes
Yeah.
the headlines is beyond me.
But then it boggles my mind how the media can spin things like that and then turn around to Trump and say, you're inciting violence with the words that you use.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
that's just.
inciting violence with a GIF that some 13-year-old shared on 4chan.
Oh my
Right.
God. Remember they
Man, that was
fucking
forever ago.
Didn't they threaten to dox him? They were like,
They
we'll
did.
tell
Did
everybody
dox
we
him.
want.
They literally did dox him. Is everyone there? Nope. Okay. My connection is crap.
Can't hear us.
Yeah, just
Okay.
keep talking, man.
You're back. You're back now. Um,
We
yeah,
didn't go
everyone
anywhere.
went silent on my end, so I assumed that it was me.
We did that on purpose to make you think that your connection had gone bad.
That was
We
a
did
well
that.
orchestrated prank then.
Like,
very
we've
well
done that
coordinated for
once.
people that are
We-
scattered across the country.
We,
Right? We
We've been
have done
plotting
that
that
to
for
Auger
weeks.
so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, Auger, you never actually got kicked, like, ever. It was just, we had it timed really, really well. We're like, okay, at, 8:52
That's funny.
and 28 seconds. No, honestly, I can't. If that was the case, I could not even be mad. Like, that would just be so impressive if you actually managed that.
right, like, I'm not even mad.
Yeah, I can't even be mad. Like, honestly, by all means,
Man.
continue. What were we talking about?
I have
Hate
no
crimes
idea.
are stupid. The news is.
Oh yeah,
the news is
yeah. How
nothing
like
but lies.
they'll say like Trump is inciting this with
Right.
the doxing. Yeah, oh yeah, and then the GIF. That was so long ago. I can't remember how long ago that was.
That was like a fucking year and a half ago, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's the current year.
News cycle. The news cycle is a water hose these days. Like
Yeah.
it's a fire hose.
Well, just think about this. The whole Tide Pod challenge was January of this year.
Holy
How
crap!
crazy is that?
What?
Wow.
That seems like it was forever ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now
Yeah.
they have a box wine version.
Yeah. There's some new challenge where the kids are setting themselves on fire, apparently.
Yeah.
Nice.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't
Is
read
that made
what
up? Is that real?
No. I saw it on the Telegraph. I saw it on Fox. I saw
Like
it,
their whole
it's-
body?
They like set a piece of their clothing on fire, and of course it gets out of hand.
See how long
'Cause-
they can take it.
Yeah, see how long they take it, and of course, they're
That
they're
is the
stupid.
dumbest thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh my
know.
gosh.
If we're sharing, I think there's a post about dumbest things you ever did. So I'll just go ahead and share mine.
please.
So, fucking Zuck for 24 days now.
Yeah.
On like 3
God damn.
accounts. It's amazing.
Mhm.
So
You've been augured.
I
Yeah.
have been. I was. Somebody went after all my accounts for some reason. Anyway. So being the idiot college freshman, and realizing that hand sanitizer is flammable, I had put some on like my arm and I had light on fire and or my hand. I put it on my hand and light on fire.
Okay.
And it didn't fucking burn immediately. And then it was a cool party trick. It impressed
Uh-huh.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag incel stories. I've since recovered from my disease.
Yeah. Thank God.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. It's honestly
Did it
like
ever get bad? Did you ever hurt yourself?
Not that lasted longer than 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
But I bet you kept doing it after the first time it hurt too, didn't you?
Well, I learned my lesson and I learned when to put it out.
Right. So
Yeah.
you kept doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just check.
remember when
But,
the
But
challenges.
I didn't do it after that first semester. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
Remember when these kids challenges were not harmful? Like
Right.
planking that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, planking.
Yeah.
But now it's
Or
like
like-
the last 3 we've had have all been actively dangerous. You've got Tides Pods, you've got this thing now, which I'm just now hearing for the first time, but it's honestly probably the worst. And then there was the Kiki challenge where you like get out of a moving car and start dancing. Like,
Well, and don't forget didn't they have they had one where you took boiling water and poured it on yourself, right?
I haven't seen that one. No,
Jesus.
I haven't heard of that.
Them I kind of heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
But like they used to be like noble, kind of like
Yeah.
shave your head to support people with cancer.
Yeah, or Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wait! That was to support people with cancer. I thought that was to make fun of them.
Well,
Seriously?
you were close.
I
50-50
Well, I did-
shot
I-
there.
I would shave my head and then I would point at people who had cancer and I'd laugh at them.
You are.
I honestly, like, based on everything I know about you, I should believe you, but honestly, part of me still hopes that, like, you're just playing up this persona.
That I have some sense
Like,
of
that you don't do
decency.
this stuff in real life, you just talk a big game on the internet.
You're right. I would never shave my head for
I
somebody
don't
who had cancer. Like I'm not that fucking supportive at all. Like not even for a joke. Like fuck you. I like my hair.
Like,
Fuck you, man,
although
you
like
cancer, I don't give a shit.
JT is the kind of person who's like, no man, I'm the same person online that I am in real life.
Oh, yeah, I remember that bit that he did a long time ago. Yeah.
Wait. What?
You
Hey,
a long time
you
ago
know.
gave us crap for being,
Having like
toning it down
accounts.
IRL when
Yes.
online we're all pretty awful.
Oh yeah, the duality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were calling
Am I
us
the only
hypocrites
one
when
here
turns out you're
who-
just like us. You're just as hypocritical.
I'm not hypocritical.
Got 'em.
I'm not hypocritical. I fucking tell jokes,
No, I know.
No,
and
I just
I really do think cancer's funny. It's a funny.
All right, everybody pretend Auger got kicked.
Okay. Is it that time already? I thought it was like not for another like 2.5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
no, I was just curious if I'm the only one who is probably actually worse in real life than I am on the internet.
I mean, aren't you like also like universally loved in your hometown, Face? Like
I mean,
you're like famous.
I don't know about loved, but certainly easily recognizable because I'm a fucking weirdo. But it does seem to me that like a lot of my ridiculousness, everyone is just like, oh, isn't that adorable? Like they think it's a fucking joke. I could literally, like, there could be a spree where like 24 bodies showed up in Lake Absaraka, and I'd be like, yeah, guys, that was totally me. And everyone would be like, oh, Face, whatever. They think it was a fucking riot. And I just, there are times that I've caught myself actually straight up being a complete dick to people, and they think it's fucking hysterical. And I'm like, no,
Hey.
like, I'm actually super pissed right now. And they're like, oh, that's great. We'll see you Monday.
So
Like,
what you're saying is you could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose any popularity. Is that what I'm hearing?
I was thinking that too.
You're probably not wrong.
You know what though? Wasn't there like an episode of the Twilight Zone where somebody like found themselves in like nothing they could do would be taken seriously? They'd get mad or they'd get and people would just laugh at them like, ah, you're so funny, and it drove them insane.
Yeah. That's kind of what it's like, except like, and that's it. I just, man, it's hard someday. Like, I'm just saying, it's happened. And so in all fairness, I'm probably actually way worse in person than I am on the internet. It just, nobody registers because they think it's so kitschy and fun. And I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you people at this point. Sometimes it saves my ass though. Like today, I've been kind of a pissy asshole most of the day. And my clients have kind of thought it was a riot and tipped me pretty well today. So
Jesus.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I literally, so Saturday, I was screaming at a client over the microphone at karaoke. And I ended up
Oh,
picking up
okay.
like 3 new clients out of that. for screaming at a client, publicly humiliating a client at karaoke.
Because she was touching her new piercings, right?
Yeah, I've already had several phone calls from people who are setting appointments because I gave them my information.
If anything, that incident just showed people like, okay, this is a piercer that actually knows what she's doing and actually cares in the end.
And will actually
there's a
stand up there
spin
drunk
to
and
that.
shit and scream at you.
Sure, she'll scream at you in public, but at least she's like, she has your best interests in mind, you know?
Exactly, and that's how everything I do is taken. It's like, well, that was pretty abrasive, but it was for the greater good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be complaining too much about that. I don't know. Like, it is a little annoying to not be taken seriously when you're, like, genuinely mad. And I definitely get that. But like,
yeah, so, I mean,
I don't know. Like, there's so many people these days that judge people by their worst possible intentions instead of assuming the best.
The amount of circle jerking between the two of you right now is fucking.
Shut it! You're just jealous
already. God damn it!
You're just jealous, Augie. Keep going, golden boys.
Yeah, go for it, big boy. Keep going.
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna like speak to like.
Adam blushing.
I wasn't even gonna say something about like face specifically, but like now I kind of feel weird going on.
Go for it.
No.
Yeah, you should feel weird.
Congratulations on that. No, what I'm saying is like all too often, and this is especially true in politics, like people assume the absolute worst of the other side. And it's very rare that people are actually be like, okay, I trust that you at least have good intentions with this. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean,
so for that to happen to you with like every interaction that you have is honestly kind of a good thing.
Yeah. Right. Like, not it baffles me to no end because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm actually like, and really the times where I can't
look like somebody who's trustworthy. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right? Like, let's be honest, I don't. And no, and it totally blows my mind because, like I said, I've literally caught myself being a complete asshole to the point where I'm like, man, if somebody rolled up and talked to me the way I just talked to this motherfucker, it would be a bad time. Somebody's going to jail and somebody's going to the hospital. And people are like, oh, face. Like, it's good. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm like, guys, call me out on my shit. I'm being a fucking asshole. Say so.
It pays to be a scary girl.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fucking scary. You're a little scary. You have a bunch of fucking spikes and studs in your face, and you're mean. That's
all it really takes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That might be a unique place.
The implication is I like to get stabbed.
I swear to God,
bother me. I enjoy
I swear to God,
pain.
I'm like the Loch Ness monster here. Maybe that's what it is.
The only recourse most men have that with most women is to beat them incessantly, and you have visible evidence that you're okay with that. So it's like, where do we go from here? Like, I can't.
I'm over here like, come on, bitch.
Yeah, you're over there going, and we're like, well, shit. She's just gonna enjoy it if I hit her. Fuck, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think it comes down to I must be like the Loch Ness monster, or like how the those up in the hills, as it were, feel about like Bigfoot. Maybe it's just because like I'm this weird mythical beast that wanders around. I just happen to also stab people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like a reverence that happens. I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe do you charge about $350 for that service? I mean, if you're the Loch Ness monster, you got to commit to the act.
You're not wrong. In all fairness, Adam,
that's a lot of money.
Let me read you a quote, and I'm going to get some reactions.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So, if our society had no social problems at all, the leftists would have to invent problems in order to provide themselves with an excuse for making a fuss.
Yes.
I love you, Matt. I love you so much.
I think we all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Who was that who said that? Soul?
Oh, really? Really, Augie? Who said that? Seriously?
Some
Ted
guy named
Kaczynski.
Ted.
Oh, was that Kaczynski?
That was Uncle Teddy.
I didn't know that was Kaczynski.
Well, because you never fucking read the goddamn manifesto like you were told to.
I haven't had the chance.
Uh-huh.
So, feminists are desperately anxious to prove that women Feminists are desperately anxious to prove that women are as strong and as capable as men. Clearly, they're nagged by a fear that women may not be as strong and as capable as men.
Valid.
That one I know is Kaczynski because I've heard it 2 or 3 different times now.
Well, yeah, and now it's obvious it's him too, dude. I mean, come on.
Nice.
Well, no, but that specific quote has been said. Hey, fuck you guys. She fucking Face has said that quote herself on this show like at least twice before. Don't act like, oh, well, now you know because fucking said Kaczynski already. Bunch of assholes.
When did I turn into an 80-year-old woman?
Excited over here.
What?
You should have known when I started getting all excited over here the minute Max started goddamn talking. Come on, that should have told you right there. Because it was one of the 10.
Boys is all. You get so fucking excited about Adam. I figured
First
you just
off,
like young.
first of all.
You like them young, wholesome,
Okay.
and without any piercings. And you just like I'm surprised you don't hang out in the parking lots of Christian churches waving Game Boys out the window. I got games!
Okay. First of all, Augie, I can't do that because of the fucking restraining orders. Second of all, Augie, Adam and I have is fucking special.
Yeah, it is. It's
it's one extreme or the other with Face. It's either wholesome people like me, like you mentioned, or serial killer necrophiliacs.
I don't think
one extreme or the other.
I've never heard. Well, it's one extreme or the other. Like she either loves you or hates you. I've never heard her be like, she's that person's all right.
That's fair.
Oh man.
Neither of you are wrong.
I've got something that kind of didn't really come up today, but part of it was talked about today that I'd like to get people's opinions on. So,
go for it.
I was about to say Trump put out a statement saying that the U.S. would not be sanctioning the leaders of Saudi Arabia for the murder of Khashoggi, even though everybody knows that they did it. And he's like, our interests with the Saudis are too important to really care about him being brutally murdered, and we don't really care.
I don't really care.
I'm in agreement with it.
Yeah.
Of course. Trump said it.
Don't try
lie.
globalism. Never even once.
That's not lie. I'm okay with it because Khashoggi was a fucking terrorist, and I don't give a shit that he was fucking killed by his own people. I don't give a fuck. Fuck him. Fuck his ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. Fuck this bullshit that the mainstream media tried to make us feel like we had to intervene. He's not even a American citizen. Fuck him.
It was.
Fuck his death.
No, he was just living.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't a citizen.
Yeah,
it's not our business. It's not our fucking business. And I don't care that someone with ties to the Muslim Brotherhood was chopped up and murdered to death. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
So if it was somebody would have a problem with it. Let's
adjust that statement.
And not
If it was
what they did.
If it was somebody who did not have ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, that would change my perspective. Yes, it would.
Yeah.
All
right. So how about
I think that's pretty fair. Like the unfortunate thing is, and speaking very generally, there is no right answer when it comes to foreign policy. There are just things that are less wrong than others.
True.
So it's a very sticky situation because the Saudis are they have a lot of problems.
They do,
but
they're
relative
they're
to the
going
rest
through-
of the Middle East, they're on the good side.
They're
But
they're
horrible.
going through
At least relatively.
That's the problem.
They're going through a period
terrible,
of
terrible people. Or
they're
What'd
all
you say, John?
fucking terrible.
the ruling, the House of Saud are horrible fucking people. They're
Yeah.
terrible, and the country
They
is
all are.
as brutal, or if not more brutal, than any other of the Muslim countries. So, but the only reason that we even ally with them is because we use them in their proxy wars with Iran. I mean, that's the only reason.
They're opposed to Iran. That's
Period.
that's
Yeah.
that's what it is.
If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't give two fucks about them, and we wouldn't. And if they did something like this, if fucking Iran did this to somebody that an Iranian dissident, we would put on new sanctions on them because we don't like them. But part of the problem that I had with this little stupid statement today was when he said that the Crown Prince, he may have done it or he may not have done it. It's like, just shut the fuck up, dude. I mean, that's just that bullshit right there. Everybody knows he did it. He ordered it, and it's a fucking blatant lie. And all you're doing is sucking this guy's dick, and you're making yourself look like an idiot by doing it. Just come out and say, no, we're not gonna sanction them because they're too important. Yes, we think they did it, but we're not going to do anything. Have the balls to say that.
Yeah.
No politician would say that.
All right, I give you that. I'll agree with that.
But what?
I think part of it, you have to understand. Like, I think when it comes to, I mean, he's kind of an outsider and he's kind of new to the game, and I think every once in a while he listens to people who tell him to do things that they think are standard procedure, and I think sometimes he listens, and I think this is one of those times. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is if it were somebody else as president going through this right now, you'd hear the same. Wouldn't you hear the same thing? If it were Obama, if it were Bush, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. We don't know. So
they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't say that. Actually, they would have some way better to say it if they were going to choose to do no. Have some way better to say that. And this was a written statement. That's what gets me. This wasn't his off the cuff. If he's speaking off the cuff, I get it. He can't think very quick. He doesn't think quickly. He just spouts what he's thinking. This is a written statement, dude.
This is what I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is why I prefer him off the cuff, because we get a much more genuine.
This was This was basically written off the cuff. He didn't even. I don't think he even proofread it. He just wrote it down to have somebody.
I don't think he was the one who wrote it, to be honest.
There's no way that anybody wrote that the way it sounded. It sounded like it came exactly from. It sounded dumb as sound.
I don't know. I think typically he tends to come across as very genuine, rough, but genuine.
Yeah.
Okay.
You disagree?
I think he comes across as an idiot most of the time, and he just like the other politicians, he panders really horribly, especially when he's giving his little rallies, and that's when he sounds even dumber because he just like something he said the other day that we caught. He was mentioning something with the Finnish president or king or some shit like that, where he had a conversation with the Finnish leader or whatever, and they rake their forests, and that's how they don't have forest fires or some Finnish guy's like, we didn't at all. What the hell?
I don't know if that's like a translation issue, because I saw a picture on Twitter of like somebody had a bulldozer and they put like 4-inch rakes on the bottom.
Yes.
And they were like, this is what raking the forest means. It's not what Jim Acosta is tweeting as far as like somebody going in there with the middle rake and sweeping it.
Right. Yeah. No, it's actual forest, the control of the underbrush and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's just somebody had brought it up to him, but it wasn't this guy, and he just it's just like, don't say that shit. It's like, it drives you crazy because half the time it just doesn't need to be said. What the things he says like that. I don't know. Anyway, I don't really care for the guy. So
I do. I know you don't care for the guy.
Yeah. So we'll keep talking about him.
Yeah.
So the other hot topic in the news is Ivanka Trump started to use a private email account.
Yes.
Right.
To do official business, probably because she gets on her phone and she doesn't actually have a real position.
Right.
Well, and she's not dealing with classified material.
Exactly. And I think the big difference is when you look through all the headlines, you see some of them say account, some of them say service, which leads me to saying that she used a personal account. So like Gmail or something that already has like built-in safeguards for hacking as opposed to a privately built server in somebody's basement.
Right.
So I think that would be more secure. Also, she's not, the Secretary of State.
Right. She doesn't have an official position at all. So
yeah,
she has no access to anything of any sensitive material.
I mean, she does. She's got the top secret clearance because that was a big controversy when Trump took office. Was that he wanted everybody in his family to have top secret SCI clearances.
How do you justify that?
I don't know. Dinner table conversation.
Yeah.
Trump wants to talk about work when he sits down with his family.
Oh,
I don't know. But so he had everybody in his family cleared for the clearance.
Doesn't she have an actual position though?
Yeah, she has an actual position within the White House. I'm not sure what exactly her title is,
I think it's a consultant of some sort.
Yeah,
it's some made up shit.
Yeah, it's like it's not a real position. Number one, and number two, I don't know that she's actually getting paid for it. Is she?
I don't think so. I mean, if anything, it would be like Trump, where she would get paid for it, but she's like declining.
Yeah,
because.
Which,
this
I'm
is just
sorry,
a guess.
To me, that matters.
She's unpaid.
People disregard that, but I think it matters. I think it says something.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because I mean, that like for the president, that's $400,000 a year.
Yep.
And that's that much taxpayer money that is not going to one of the richest people in the world who we elected to represent him.
He limited. Didn't he do another decrease on the budget for the federal? Like,
I haven't heard about that.
No, I don't know.
On top of that, didn't he just get past prison reform? He got a prison reform.
No, it's not passed. It's not even.
It's just on the table at the moment.
Yeah, it's just on the table. It's not even been brought up to get it for the new people get in, but that's going to be, who's McConnell's the leader in the Senate still, I guess. He's got to get his ass to work to get it, and then it has to go to, conference between them and the Senate and the House and all that kind of shit. So it's something they could do very quickly if they wanted to, but it's the government thing when it's really obvious.
From what I've heard, it's a pretty monumental bill.
Mostly, yeah, it's got its problems. The biggest one being that the guidelines would not be applied retroactively to people who are convicted and already sentenced. So that's a huge problem. To me, that's ridiculous.
But that goes along with the whole like, hey, follow our laws, get into the country kind of thing, where it's, hey, these are the rules in place when you commit the crimes, and then that's what they're going for, which sucks and it's stupid.
Yeah, it is.
But that,
I mean, I know why.
Yeah, it'd be hypocritical if he didn't do that.
Yeah, it's
why would it be hypocritical if he didn't do that?
Just because his rule on immigration and trying to, it's a, damn it, JT.
I don't know why it would be hypocritical. I wanted to know why.
Just because Trump's message of to everybody, especially the immigrant or illegal immigrants, is follow the law. So if he's going to say like, well, you guys 5 years ago didn't follow the law, but we're going to let you off of the pass now, it would set a bad precedent.
Okay, I think I see what you're saying. It would go against what the message he's been presenting this entire time. All right, I can see that.
So in 6.5 years, when the new president takes over, and they pass a new immigration reform bill, and then he's going to be like, oh, well, all of you who jumped in the border illegally, y'all are now legal. That would set a bad precedent.
Retroactive thing, I get you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how about that caravan?
I guess we're not shooting them this time.
No, it's just sad.
Yeah.
Wait. What do you mean this time? Did we shoot him last time?
Maybe next time.
Oh, okay. 2 out of 3, man. Best 2 out of 3.
No, so I saw somebody. They were like, he inherited this problem, just like he inherited most of his problems. And for the first time, he's like, well, let's try something different. So here we are trying something different. Like let's discourage them by tweeting rhetoric about how we're going to shoot them if they jump the fence. Like everybody and their mother knows we won't, but
right.
But hopefully,
if we did,
right?
If he I want, and I don't care what anybody says about me for this, but I want that follow through. I really do. If you're going to tweet. If you're going to tweet that we're going to shoot you if you fucking jump the fence.
Technically, you only have to shoot one person.
Right. That's it. So the one guy gets shot, and then you look at the rest of them like, really? And they all go, oh, all right. I guess that was for real. I thought you were joking. I didn't know that you were serious about that. So I'm going to reevaluate hopping over the fence right now. Maybe I won't do that. I just think that we should be serious about that because it would save us so much trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw your optics. I'm going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. I don't know where that statement's from, but that's a really good, solid, confident, go-getter attitude that everybody could benefit from if they applied it.
I don't know if you're being serious, but I would refrain from using that statement in the future.
I know exactly where that's from, which is exactly why I was saying what I was saying about it, because that made it funnier. So, what is this about beets? Why is everybody talking about beets? Is this picture about, what is this, vegetarian beet sliders with green goddess sauce? Sting. That's not a burger. What are you doing? Replace the beet with steak and I'm in. Yeah, thank you, Scott. If you surprisingly like beef. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not surprising, and it doesn't taste like beef. It tastes like a fucking beet. Those are two entirely different things. They taste entirely different.
I mean, their words are similar. Like, they're only one letter apart, but I think that's pretty much where it ends. I've had beef and I've had beets.
And they don't taste the same.
They don't taste anything alike, no.
Mm-mm.
You know what? Maybe
I think Allison's just too high to notice the difference.
Maybe if you're a combination of female, Portuguese, high, maybe then they taste the same. Because if you're a triple garbage person like that, then yeah, I can imagine how you would think that something that tastes like poop could taste like burgers, because you don't have human taste buds. You're basically like you're like a worm, and worms don't have taste buds. They don't know what beef tastes like. So I guess for you and the rest of your Portuguese garbage people, that's why you're able to do that. And you're able to say those things because you don't know any better. Leprechauns don't know shit. I know. You know what? I don't know a whole lot, but I know what beets taste like, and I know what beef tastes like, and they don't taste the fucking same, psycho. So, real quick, entertainment corner. I recently saw a movie, and for those of you who are fans of the Western genre, I highly recommend that you go and see The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Well,
Yes.
you can't go and you have to have Netflix.
Okay.
Oh, right. Well, all right. Download it, get Netflix and watch it. Steal a Netflix password from somebody. I don't care. This movie is amazing. Like, it is truly. I'm going to talk a bit about it, and I'm going to give some. There may be spoilers in this. So if you have any, if you haven't seen it,
probably the three of us are the only ones who've seen it.
Okay. Well, if you haven't seen it, I might say some things, but I won't give away the whole movie. So just deal with it. It's worth it. 3 minutes into the movie, there's a moment where a guy asks another man, does your pistol work? And as a response to that, he shoots him in the fucking head. That's 3 minutes into the film. And it's amazing. It's so good. Everything about that movie is absolutely ridiculous and amazing. And not only that, but the picture I have that I'm using now as our HOA, our House of Auger
that promotional banner thing.
Promotional photo, right? Which is the
playing cards.
The playing cards. That's a still from that movie.
Oh, okay.
And I took a bunch of stills, which I'll end up using as other promos. Every time I would stop that film to take a picture, to take a screenshot of it, holy shit, that movie from start to finish is photographically beautiful.
Well,
very.
It's as if it was made specifically so that you could stop it every second of that fucking film and take a screenshot and use that in a photo, photographically. It's gorgeous. It's several. I think it's something like 6 stories.
Six stories.
And they're all supposed to highlight different aspects of life in the Wild West. And there's a lot of humor in there, but it gets really dark sometimes.
I think a lot of it was really sad.
Yeah,
there was some genuine,
except for the first one.
The first one wasn't, but the rest of them were pretty sad.
I thought the second one was it was kind of sad, but it was really funny too.
Wait, is that Torso Guy?
Is that Torso Guy?
Torso Guy?
Seriously?
No. No, it's Franco.
Oh, James Franco.
That one was funny. Yeah, that
yeah.
was funny. You're right.
When he goes first time.
That was good.
I laughed so hard at that. Oh my god. God, that movie, it's gorgeous. It really is. And it's so good. And if you need any other reason, if you're not a fan of the Western genre, Tom Waits is in this movie.
Yeah.
You don't need any other reason other than that. Tom fucking Waits is in that movie. And his character's amazing. The story's amazing. I'm trying not to give away stuff.
Yeah,
but
you
really,
can't.
honestly,
That's the problem. It's hard to talk about movies with the short stories like this because if you say anything, you're pretty much giving something away.
yeah. And I like the way they kind of present it as though it's a book, like you're reading short stories from a book.
Right. Two of them
they
were actually from books. One of them was from the one with Tom Waits was actually from a Jack London story.
Yeah.
And the wagon train one was also some other from a woman who wrote a story. So two of them were
talking about the finals.
I guess was that the final story. The wagon train.
Yeah,
but,
I was curious about that one. I felt like there was an underlying narrative to that, like it wasn't just literally a wagon train. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like we were maybe watching them. I felt like it could have been a ghost story.
Yeah, I can see that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm just saying it felt like it could easily be people who didn't know that they were dead.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
there's
especially at the end when that guy's just kind of looking and he's like trying to, like, there's this longing look and he doesn't want to, and you know, everybody's afraid to go into the hotel and you're like, what's going on?
Oh, that one. That's not the wagon train. That's just the wagon. I was talking about the wagon train.
Oh,
with the girl.
we were talking about the wagon train one with the girl who's.
You're just talking about the state. You're talking about
the one at the end. That was
You're talking about the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wagon train. The other one was the stagecoach. That's it.
Yeah, and I think they were like going to hell or something.
Oh, okay. Now I see. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So now that you know which story I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah, that one's. Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but it certainly. It certainly felt like that was what was going on. Like.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like that was what was going on. And I love the Oregon Trail story. I loved everything about that story. I was like, this embodies life in the Wild West, man.
That was great.
Holy fuck.
And I like the gold panning one. I might like that one the best, actually.
That was such a good story.
I know.
So
it
good.
Was.
And dude, I took so many screenshots of that valley. God, that valley is beautiful. I want to go
live in that valley.
My God.
Jesus, yeah.
As long as Tom Waits gets to come through like once a week singing those songs.
Right?
I'll live in that valley. Fuck yeah. You can dig in my yard. But yeah, so I that movie is so worth it. It's so fucking worth it. God,
even if you don't even like Westerns that much, it's just great. So
I'll have to check it out. And then I'll re-listen to this section of the recording so that I can actually have some clue as to what the heck you're talking about.
So yeah. I highly recommend that movie. I've seen it since it came out like 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, it's good.
It's how good it is. It's so pan shot.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, God damn, that's brilliant. Oh, man. All right. So, on to other news. Who else has got something to say?
Wait, go on.
No, I was just saying we were talking about Thanksgiving plans when you were when you accidentally kicked yourself earlier. But what are you doing for Thanksgiving, Josh?
I am going to be meeting up with my mother and my sister, and surprise, my grandmother's going to be there. I'm not really too excited about that. My grandmother is fun in crowds when I can feed her alcohol and piss off everyone else.
The one who you would sneak drinks to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like a wind up toy, you turn the fucking the windy thing in the back, and then
Yeah.
let her go. Off she goes to piss off everybody else, and then you enjoy the show. There's not going to be anybody but my sister, her husband, myself, and my mother, and our grandmother, my grandmother.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere to really direct her.
Is she just mean?
No, she's not mean. She just doesn't give a shit about. I don't even know why she's. Oh, that's right. So I guess the other siblings, my mother's brothers and sisters, are all out somewhere, out of town, doing something else. So that's why she's coming with us, because she doesn't really have anywhere else to spend Thanksgiving.
Y'all are the last choice,
right? And that tells you everything you need to know,
right?
I don't care for the woman, because the woman hasn't cared about me as a person since I was a fucking kid. So I don't give a shit about you.
And even then, it was only because you helped her get through these holidays by getting a drink.
Yeah.
Right. So, it is what it is. I'll enjoy eating. We're not going to be eating anything. Is anybody going to be eating anything out of the ordinary?
Turducken.
Anybody got some dishes that stand out?
Don't know. This is the first time I'm spending Thanksgiving with my in-laws.
Oh, really?
And so there's a possibility. That is Korean, you racist. My wife is half Vietnamese. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. Why did I think she was half Korean?
Because I've lived in Korea. You're mixing that up with where I've lived.
Or because they're racist bastard, Augie. They don't all look the same.
I mean, both. Both is the answer.
No, Koreans and Vietnamese don't look the same, because Koreans are a mountain people. They're very kind of roundish in the face. They're plump as a people.
There is a difference. I don't know how to articulate it, but
yeah, no, they don't. Vietnamese and Koreans should be easy to point out. However, your wife doesn't look like either.
Yeah, no, that's true. She will admit that.
Do you get along with your in-laws, Adam?
Yeah, I do.
They like you?
Yeah.
You sound surprised. Who wouldn't like Adam?
I'm just saying, like, he's white.
Oh my god.
I'm also a white guy with an engineering degree. So
right?
I rank higher in the hierarchy from the Asian perspective than the average white guy. It would definitely help more if I was a doctor. But
I know it. I just said that. I just fucking said I'll bet they would prefer it if you were a doctor.
No, I mean her mom is
not bad.
I mean, her mom was the one that got her to be an engineer in the first place, so she definitely has respect for engineers. Yeah.
What made her mother push her?
I mean, it was a combination of she was smart enough, and her stepdad has been in the oil business for his entire career. He's a petroleum engineer as well, so they basically were like, look, if you want us to pay for your college, then this is what you're majoring in. She's like, okay, cool. I'm glad it's the one that makes the most money, at least. And then it turns out she did end up enjoying it quite a bit, so it worked out for her. But there's been lots of cases where parents will push something on their kids, and the kids are like, nah, I don't want any part of that. But thankfully, this is not one of those stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But we're having turducken for Thanksgiving.
You really are?
Yeah, we really are. We've had it before.
I have yet to have that.
Yeah. It's good.
It's all right.
I don't know. It's kind of heavy. Makes me feel gross after I eat it. It's a lot of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think it's the duck. The duck fat in it makes me feel.
Yeah,
ugh.
Duck is very fatty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's chewy as fuck.
Yeah, I mean they're delicious, but you just you can tell you ate something really rich after.
Yeah, I can see that. You know what I really want to try, and I know I shouldn't, but I got to try it at some point, right? Is deep fried turkey. I hear that's fucking amazing.
It
Do
is
you remember?
good.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Like,
ever had that either. Come to think of it,
several years back, it was a huge fad. I guess it was like a new thing. Like people were taking big ass fryers.
It's huge in the South, dude. It's huge in the South. Always has been.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fad down here.
I've never had it, and I hear it's fucking tasty as fuck.
Yeah.
It is. Very good.
But it's dangerous if you don't know how to do it right.
I know there's so many videos of people having horrible flaming accidents.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, because they put the actually frozen turkey in, and they don't let it thaw any, so the water, the frozen water, when it hits the oil,
that's dumb.
It boils over.
Yeah, it is dumb.
And then it flashes on. Thing goes up in a.
Yeah. But
do you put stuffing inside it when you do that?
The one I had, no. I don't think so. No, Scott says no. I haven't prepared one like that myself. I've only eaten one.
I saw a picture that somebody had taken like an octopus and tossed it inside of a turkey.
Ew.
And the tentacles were hanging out.
Ew.
And so it looked like a turkey octopus.
God.
And that was their turkey. That was their Thanksgiving dinner, and I was instantly like, yes, I need to have that. I need that in my life. I need tentacles coming out of a turkey in my mouth.
Oh my god! So, are you guys ready for a laugh?
Yeah,
of course.
Always.
So this just happened here a little while ago. I have my the beautiful Caitlin in the shop this evening helping me get all my stuff processed and all that jazz while we've been listening to the show and everything. Well, a little while ago.
Hi, Caitlin.
Everybody says hi. Say hi back. Hi. She says hi.
Hi. How have you been?
We were on our way out of the clean room, and she went to slap my ass. So I bent over, and I was like, no, you missed. You got to do it better than that. So she, cranked back, got positioned better, and really laid in and slapped my ass. Okay. And she was making a comment a few minutes ago. She was like, God, my hand is, still tingly. And we look, and she has, this vein on the top of her hand that literally looks like she has damaged it in some fundamental way.
Oh, wow.
She probably burst a vein slapping your ass.
The things that happen in the piercing shop after hours. They get down to some kinky stuff.
I'm fucking dying. Her hand, it looks pretty bad.
Do you have a bunch of piercings in your ass cheek too? Maybe she hit one.
I have no piercings in my ass cheeks, thank you. That's just buns of steel.
Oh. Well, do you have a really bony ass? You know how some people, when they bend over, the pelvis.
No, she doesn't.
Nicole's like, no, I've seen it.
Nicole is speaking like an authority on this.
How do you know?
It's like, no, I can confirm. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Where are you getting your information?
Are you guys
Nicole?
hanging out and we don't know it? What's going on?
I can visually confirm. I'll put it that way.
Visually doesn't tell you shit. I have grabbed my fair share of asses, and I've seen some plump ones that you actually put in your hand, and immediately you can feel the bone, that fucking pelvic bone.
Really?
Just poke it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be real. Auger is the authority on all things butt related. So we should probably trust him when he's saying this stuff.
Well, as the only person in this conversation who has grabbed my own ass, I can assure you it is not bony. I know the kind of booties you're talking about, though, Augie. I've seen some big ones that, there's bone in there, but no.
They bend over, it's like it looks like they've got a lot of meat, and then they sit down in your lap, and you're like, Jesus Christ, your fucking pelvic bone is cutting into my
No.
fucking thigh.
Yes. But my ass is not that ass. I do not have a bony ass. I just obviously have buns of steel, or Caitlin has little weak ginger lesbian hands. I don't know.
I mean, those aren't mutually exclusive.
Caitlin and her soft ass hands.
Those things are not mutually exclusive. They can both be
It's
true.
from all the manicures I've been giving her. I've made her hands soft and weak.
I'll bet they'd feel great on like if they were rubbing your face, but I'll bet she can't give a hand job for shit.
Well, she's a lesbian, so she wouldn't try. So I bet you're right. She probably couldn't. She does not know how to drive a stick shift. So, and believe me, I've made those jokes.
There you go.
Doesn't know how to drive a stick shift. That is a terrible lesbian right there.
I know. I tell her that all the time too, but I love her anyway. Apparently, so much that I've broken her hand on my ass. It's pretty hilarious. I'm so sorry. I know that was like super off topic, but I was like, oh my god, these people have to know what has happened while we've been talking.
I mean, this whole show is off topic.
Yeah,
be real.
exactly.
You're not wrong. And in case anybody was curious, I'm going to Wheatland, Wyoming for Thanksgiving, which is basically the Appalachia of Wyoming.
Oh, God.
I thought Wyoming was the Appalachia of Wyoming.
Yeah.
No, we're the Appalachia of the Midwest. I'm going to the Appalachia of the Appalachia.
Okay.
Wow.
Very Appalachia of you.
I've seen movies about that kind of place. I think they're called like Wrong Turn.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Wheatland, though. Wheatland is getting quite progressive. Here about 5 years ago, they finally let the first black family move in.
Wow.
Progress. Woo.
Stepping it up, man.
In Smithville, we have a hooker named Flower Girl who solicits teenage boys at the exit of the high school.
Huh, that's smart.
That is illegal on multiple levels.
I know, right?
She might be my favorite
everyday prostitution.
Wait.
What? What?
Was somebody going to say something? Okay, I'm going to say something.
Doesn't even wait for a response. Like, oh, is anybody else going to say something? Well, too bad. I've got the mic.
I need to know more about what's her name? Flower Power?
She calls herself Flower Girl.
Flower Girl. As she solicits teenage boys?
Yes.
Yeah, she has continuously gotten in trouble for soliciting teenage boys at the exit of our high school.
What the fuck do teenage boys have that they can... Like,
Mommy and Daddy
what are
money?
they paying her in?
What?
They're teenage boys. What the fuck kind of money
really
do they
doubt
have? This doesn't sound like a good business model.
I doubt she's charging very much. Dude.
Yeah, because apparently the other place she goes is a laundromat.
How old is she?
From what I've heard, she's in her like late 30s, early 40s.
What does she look like?
She's
Prepare the price list because you want that next.
all I know is that she's short, a little overweight, and African American.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's
She's
a whole
short,
thing.
chubby black girl who hits
Yeah,
on like
yeah,
high school jobs.
yeah. Y'all know that thing
That's
called
so
what is it,
weird.
Neighbors? Yeah, Neighbors. That social networking thing for your neighborhood.
No, I've never heard of it, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm on that for our area, and a whole long thread about her and another girl that they're just causing all types of problems here in our town. Next Door. Yeah, thank you, Alice. It's called Next Door.
What? Next door. Why do they call her Flower Girl?
That's the name she gave herself. I don't know.
That's a weird ass name.
It really is. Sorry, Bomba. You met a hippie on the beach in Corpus with some flower name. Yeah, Corpus is my hometown. I'm not surprised by that.
Corpus Christi?
Yep.
Oh, Texas. That's hilarious.
Jack, I'm on next door. We get more of the tranny shitting everywhere.
Well, you're both
Tranny prostitutes shit everywhere?
Yeah, being in Baltimore, apparently they're trannies and they shit everywhere instead of going to high schools.
What the fuck? Why do they shit everywhere?
So it's
Because they're
better?
dirty.
I don't know. I don't know if that's better.
Well, if they're out working,
Yeah,
they need to poop, they're going to shit everywhere.
Maybe they're Muslim too.
Tranny Muslims.
Could be.
Tranny Muslim prostitutes.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute,
Shitting on
Muslims
the
don't
streets
shit.
of Baltimore.
Isn't that Indian? Indians,
Yeah.
not Muslim.
No, that's the Pakistanis do it. If Paul's still on here, he'll tell you they do that. They shit in the fucking parks. He actually had shared a video where they were showing some fucking Muslim guys in fucking park in London just taking a shit. The whole group of 6 of them just sitting down, squatting down,
fuck?
taking a dump.
Oh, God.
Multiculturalism is lovely.
Ew.
No, it's not. Every culture is not equal. This is bullshit. God damn it.
I don't know
Oh,
how
what
we
the
went
fuck is
from
wrong with
Thanksgiving
people?
to that.
Because
We went from Thanksgiving, what we're eating for Thanksgiving, to people shitting on
Shitting in the
street.
streets.
Yeah, lovely.
I'll take Flower Girl over that any day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Give me a chubby, preteen chaser over a street shitter any day. Fuck that.
Yeah, you did.
What did
Our dog peed on our grill.
peed on your grill?
Yeah, he peed on our propane grill because he's too lazy to walk out to the car. He's such an asshole. But
Wow.
this is really sad. I've been very sad. He has cancer. We found out not too long ago. But
Oh,
he's
sorry.
doing really well though. But he kind of gets away with even more hell than, because I just tell Joel, if you're mean to him, you're gonna make him die quicker. And so he gets whatever he wants now. So we don't even get mad at him for peeing on our grill anymore.
I'm going to start using that.
It works.
I'm going to tell everybody I have cancer, and then I'm going to be like, don't be mean to me. I'll die. You're just going to make me die faster.
I'm going to pee on your grill now. Don't try and stop me.
Oh man, now I'm picturing that. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to do that anyway, but now I have a reason to now I have a way to excuse it. Like, hey, I have cancer. What the fuck does that mean?
Exactly.
I think that only works with
to
cute
pee on my
dogs.
fucking grill. And I'll just be like, it does. It does. That's exactly what it means.
Oh god.
What kind of cancer you got? The pee on your grill kind. The kind that makes me pee on your grill. That's
I don't know. Are you trying to delegitimize my cancer here? Are you being that guy?
fucking bigot.
Being a dick to a cancer patient? Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Yeah, I guess you can pee on my grill now. I'm not gonna ask any more questions.
Please pee on my grill. Oh, that's weird.
Our porch is so gross right now though. First he's peeing on the grill, and then our cat keeps killing gophers. And earlier today I picked up all that was left of the gopher was one kidney and his mouth. That was it, on our porch by our back door. Just gopher teeth and a kidney.
Gopher teeth?
Yeah, literally just the teeth. He left the teeth, like the mouth, part of the nose, and a kidney.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
And the night
were there
before,
enough
he-
teeth that you
Huh?
could? Were there enough teeth that you could make like a bracelet?
For like a premature infant, maybe.
Right. Gophers aren't big, or these gophers aren't.
Yeah, the teeth are nasty.
Oh, really?
No. Yeah, no, it's not a bobcat, Jack. He's just a crazy fucking cat. He's the one who I shared a picture of him on the group. He had the day before brought a gopher to our back door that was perfectly cut cleanly in half. I don't know how the hell, but he's found an area to catch and eat gophers in, apparently, and bringing them to our back door.
That's so sweet of him that he's
I
doing
know,
that.
Right?
Like, he cares about you guys. He worries that you're not eating well.
So he just left us a teeth and kidney this time.
He's like, hey, are you guys eating enough? You getting enough to eat? Here, I want to share this with you. Make sure you guys are eating.
I have actually heard that about cats, though. They think that humans are just cats that suck at being cats.
Right.
And so that's why they hunt and bring dead animals to you, is because they think that you're just not capable of hunting.
And if they care about you, they're like, here, you need to eat. You're dumb, and I care about you.
It's bad when what they bring you is still alive. Like one of my cats brought in a live baby, dropped it on the ground in the kitchen. And yeah, it's better when they're dead.
It's better when they're dead.
Brought in a
They're
live
easier
what?
to catch when they're dead.
I say things like that. It's better when they're dead. And everyone's like, oh my God, Face, that's not okay. Why are you talking about the girls at the bar that way? It's ridiculous.
What is that, Joel? What did you just share?
A guy that has literally a double hand.
Oh, that's real.
That's real.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Right?
Man, you could give a good hand job.
It was posted in your desires are bad group. That's where
were they talking about hand jobs?
And the guy, imagine the hand job with his hand.
For real though.
I would love that. Although to be honest, I kind of feel like, because look at the way the fingers on both sides, the way they go. I'm not sure. That could either be good or that might be weird and bad.
I think if you're really thick, it would be great.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
right.
Yeah.
You set off Auger's mutant fetish.
I do love my circus freaks. I do.
Yeah, you do.
That brings back memories. That looking at that hand really does. What was it? Okay. Reminds me of is there was a guy on Reddit a few years back who had posted he an AMA, and he had 2 dicks.
Oh wow!
He was born with 2 dicks. He shared pictures, and so people were asking him stories. And the best thing about him was that he was a total fucking degenerate. And I was like, thank God for that, because the man who's been blessed with 2 dicks needs that's who should have the second dick. Like, is somebody who's like,
right?
So like at some point somebody was like, what's the best sex you've ever had? And he was like, well, I was getting like slammed with 2 dicks up my ass. I had one chick sucking one dick and another dude like wrapping his balls around the other dick, and I had like a dick in each hand, and I was sucking on some, like, it was just craziness. And I was like, this is beautiful. This is who needs to have 2 dicks, not somebody who's like, well, you know, I've only ever had sex with my wife. You know, like, thank God it wasn't given to some, you know, no offense, Adam, but like some fucking prudish,
you
Christian.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to make the proper use of that. I'm satisfied with what I got.
You would?
Well, yeah, you're a dirty packy. Of course you would. None of your fucking cows would be safe.
Our poor cows. Oh man! So they were both fully functional.
Yeah.
Did they split off from each other? Like, was it one dick and then a Y, or was it 2 separate dicks?
No. It was 2 separate dicks, but the placement was interesting too. It wasn't like one on top of the other. They were side by side.
Interesting. Yeah, I pictured it one on top of another.
Yeah, that would be more useful. It'd be easier to use that one.
Yeah, they're on top of each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do double penetration, all types of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can still do that. You just have to adjust position.
Yeah, it's just not as easy.
Yeah, you're right. You can.
Yeah, you could still do that. Like, he'd have to lay down, and then you would just take, you'd have to sit on him.
Kind of sideways.
Side. Yeah.
Sideways.
Yeah, Bomba's got it.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, like, it just, I think, I thought it was such a great thing that was the guy who got 2 dicks.
Yeah, that is cool.
And the interesting thing is they weren't terrible. It's not like the one was long and one was not.
Oh,
I don't know.
Hey, I think Jack put up a picture of him, maybe, of his 2 dicks.
Brady just popped.
Very informative.
What the fuck am I looking at right now? Yeah.
This is
They
why.
are.
Is that Brandy?
Yeah.
Welcome, Brandy, to the show. This is what we talk about.
It wasn't anything like this at first.
No, we were talking about hate crimes, and now we're talking about dicks. Double doses of dicks.
Right.
Yeah, so that guy, from what I understand, see, I don't know if that's the same guy, because I thought that the guy, I remember him saying, like, they were only like 6 inches or something like that, but they were fat, like they were...
Yeah.
They were thick.
More than one.
Yeah, no, there's other people out there like that, but God, 8 inches soft. Fuck.
Well, the thing about guys who are soft and long is that they just, they're the same length when they get hard.
Right.
Yeah, true.
So, as impressive as they look soft, it's not like anything changes. Whereas
they're not.
Growers...
Yeah, they are showers, not growers.
Yeah, growers are like a magic trick.
Yeah.
You pull your pants down and the girl laughs, and then you do a quick little jerk off, and then she's like, "Where the fuck did that come from?" And you're like, "Yeah." It always it leaves the impression that you're larger than you actually are, because she saw that change. And that's the beauty of it. It's like, whoa, you went from having a micro penis to having something like huge in comparison. And you're like, well, yeah, it's still only 6 inches, but compared to the fucking ½ inch you saw, you're really impressed right now. And that's all that matters. I'm not sure what to say now, says Sarbamba. Well, I don't know what. About what exactly? Hey, how awesome would it be to see the guy with 2 dicks with 2 fucking hands in one?
Oh, that would be a good porn.
Right? I think there needs to be more circus porn. I would be fucking all about it. Auger seems to have a great deal of knowledge about tiny penises.
Russians. You need to check out Russian porn. They have the best of everything.
Sarbamba, I was a hospital corpsman in the medic. And if you don't know what that is, our nickname, as every rate had one, were pecker checkers. That's what they called us. Because when we'd pull into port, everybody would go off and get their dicks wet into everything they could. And we were the ones who had to check and see if who had what, right? When they came back on after leave. So, yeah, I know I know a fair deal more about dicks than I ever expected or wanted to. So, I don't know what you want from me. That's how it works. So, other than that, go ahead.
Oh, I was just looking underneath that picture of the double dicks that Jack put up. Is a picture of this really obese guy, and I swear I saw that guy. He had I thought he was dead now. Anyway, he had a show on maybe Discovery or Discovery Health. He had a giant ball sack. Like, he couldn't even really leave the house or get dressed or anything. It was huge.
Wasn't that a result of elephantitis?
Yeah. I thought he actually died, but I can't remember. Yeah, Brandy said she saw that too. It looks like that in the picture.
Brandy's asking a question about protocol here. So the way this works, Brandy, typically is the host, myself, and the co-hosts, pardon me, we have a roundtable discussion about whatever, and then the audience members, if they would like to participate, if they have something they'd like to say, whatever the case may be, you just type into the chat that you would like to be unmuted. We have everybody muted, so we don't have a ton of people talking all at once, because that becomes chaos. So there's just a few of us who aren't muted, the co-hosts and myself. And then if you would like to join the conversation, or you have something that you'd like to say, you let us know in the chat that you'd like to be unmuted, and then we go ahead and do that.
Yep.
Cool. Speaking of movies, I know I talked about a new one. I'd like to talk about an old one that I recently saw for the first time in a long time. It used to be one of my favorite movies, and I completely forgot about it. And it's a movie called The Last Supper. This is made back in 95.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz is in it. Courtney B. Vance, who is a little-known black actor. I like him.
He's well known. There's Law and Order.
Yeah, he got well known on Law and Order.
Oh, okay. I don't watch Law and Order, so that's probably why I don't know that.
Well, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Whatever. You guys watch shit shows. You really do.
You're talking about The Last
Order. Anyway, so this movie, I remember being so into it and being like, yeah, like that's so fun and such a great concept. And my friends and I used to joke about which one of us was one of the people. The concept is this group of liberals, and I used to be a liberal, and it was so funny. It was so funny to see this movie from from such a different perspective now. Mm-hmm. Like, I've changed politically and ideologically, and now looking at that movie, it's such a different story for me. So the premise is that this group of liberal college students are all roommates in this, I don't fucking know where they're living. It's a nice town. It seems kind of a small town. And every Sunday they would have a guest over for dinner to talk about whatever, politics, current events, and stuff like that. So one night they don't get the guests they were supposed to have didn't. It fell through, and one of the guys, his car broke down on the way there, and it's a rainy night. So some guy picks him up and drives him home. When he gets there, he's like, well, you should be our guest. Come have dinner with us tonight. Well, it turns out to be Bill Paxton. May he rest in peace. I miss that man so much. I loved him. But he plays this kind of dick of a dude, this like ex-Marine who's kind of a bit racist. And they get in, they're asking him questions, and he starts talking about Jews and blacks. And like at one point, Courtney B says something sarcastic, and he's like, "That's the problem with you people." And you're like, "Oh shit!" and he talks about the Jews, and he says some horrendous shit. But at no point, like at one point, he holds the Jewish guy. He holds his arm behind his back and holds a knife up to him, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And he's like, see, you liberals, you talk a good game, but you never do anything. He lets him go, right? Like he was just trying to prove a point. It's still a fucked up thing to do, and like you should leave. But the Jewish guy, he gets He didn't take it too well, so he stabs the fucking dude in the back. So Bill Paxton dies, and they all kind of freak out, and they discuss what to do, and they decide to bury him in the backyard instead of going to the police, because they're like, well, we can't go to the police. We'll be turning in our friend. It's not cool. So a couple of them decide, hey, let's make this a fucking trend. Let's have somebody over for dinner every Sunday, and we'll make the world a better place. We'll kill people who could be the next fucking Hitler. We'll give them a chance. We'll sit them down and we'll talk to them and we'll try and reason with them. And if they don't, if they can't be reasoned with, if their mind can't be changed, then we'll have them drink this poisoned wine that we dump a bunch of fucking arsenic into, and we'll bury them in the backyard and we'll make tomatoes out of them. This is like, and so they do this over and over and over again. And the concept is, like, near the end, there's some high school girl, and she's suing her school because the school is promoting like free condoms and sex ed, and she's like, and this kind of stuff sends the message to people my age that sex before marriage and promiscuity is okay. And she said, and this is a product of your generation and what you've done to the world. You've screwed it up for the rest of us. And I think we should go back to having morals and ethics. And you can think what you want about that girl and her perspective. I kind of agree with her. It's kind of funny to look at it looking back at it. I'm like, she's kind of right. Like, I don't think I looked at it like that back then. And it's kind of funny. And they're like, half of the people at the table are like, here, drink this wine. And like at least two of them, like, Cameron can't handle it anymore. And the Jewish guy can't handle it anymore either. They're both like freaking out. Like, what are we doing? It's taking its toll on them that they're murdering people. And fucking Cameron's flipping out. She's like, are you guys serious right now? She's 17 and a half. You're trying to get her to drink wine. And for what? Because she fucking disagrees with premarital sex? This is not a reason to kill people. Like, so it's just falling apart and getting out of hand. And it's a really good movie. It was just really interesting to watch that same film now that I've changed so much perspectively.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was, I remember looking at that film and thinking, yeah, fuck those people. And now I look at most of them and I'm like, yeah, they're awful people, but they don't deserve to die just because they fucking think awful things.
Right.
It's just really interesting how much of a change, how different that movie's become. Like, the movie hasn't changed, obviously.
Yeah.
But I have, and it's just it's a really
what movie was
it's
that?
a really good movie. The Last Supper.
Okay.
It's if you look up Cameron Diaz, you should be able to find it.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of an apt metaphor for what people actually do today.
Right.
Where it's just like, if you support Trump, then defriend me. It's not full on murder, but it's like, you're dead to me.
But there are people on the left who promote that idea now.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's what I'm saying.
There's that group, By Any Means Necessary, BAM, that's like, yeah, that's literally their belief. Like, if you believe anything differently than we do, then you probably have to die. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't just disagree anymore. You can't have a different perspective. You have to die. Like, that. It's becoming really fundamental and extremist, and it's really kind of scary. So I feel like this movie is very relevant. If you haven't seen it, see it. There's a prominent figure who, I guess he would be a parody of, like, Rush Limbaugh, who was a big figure in the 90s.
He's still a big
figure. Literally.
Yeah.
But I mean, people know who he is kind of now, but he was a prominent name then. And there's a guy who has like a TV show who's kind of a right-wing commentator, kind of like Rush Limbaugh, and he's played by Ron Perlman.
Huh.
They end up having him for dinner. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting.
So Ron
Such a good
Perlman
movie.
went off the rails yesterday, the day before.
Oh no, he went off the rails like months ago. As
Oh,
well.
well,
What are we talking about? Are we talking about
So,
politically? Please
Ron
tell me
Perlman.
he didn't go off politically.
Oh no,
he,
he's been off the rails politically for a while now.
He's obviously, he's a big left winger, but I guess I think it was either yesterday or today. Him and a few other Hollywood people are calling on studios and producers and whatnot to boycott the film industry in Georgia as long as the Republican governor elect is going to be governor, because they don't like the outcome of the result of the election in Georgia. He said,
nothing childish about that.
no, he said,
Yep.
he said something along the lines of, hey, if you're going to film in Georgia, lose my number. It's like, okay, Ron.
Wow.
Don't think we had your number, but that's fine.
Ron Perlman said that?
Yeah.
God damn it. Why can't they shut
Yeah.
their mouths so I can stay liking them?
Right.
I don't. Just please don't say anything, you idiots. Fuck.
No, the craziest thing out of Ron Perlman's lovely Twitter feed is when that whole Kevin Spacey thing broke out.
Right.
He was like, I can't remember what the exact wording was, but he said like, "Oh yeah, Kevin Spacey kind of always gave me the creeps." So there was one time when I used the bathroom and I got some pee on my hands and I didn't wash my hands, and then I went over and shook Kevin Spacey's hand. And everyone's like, okay, so given the choice between peeing on your own hand and outing a child molester, you chose to pee on your own hand.
Wow.
You're an idiot,
Yeah.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
God damn it. I want to like him
so like
much.
people made memes where it was like the like Drake, point like pushing the one option away and then pointing to the other one, and it was like
Right.
reporting a child molester to the police, pushing that away, and then it's just like pointing to pissing on your own hand. It was great.
Wow. Yeah, I'm actually surprised by Alyssa Milano, renouncing. She's renounced a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
She renounced
Yes.
Linda Sarsour.
Sarsour.
Mhm.
Whatever. Her name means cockroach.
Sour.
Linda Cockroach. Her name
Yeah.
literally in Arabic, I believe, Sarsour means cockroach.
I would not be surprised, and if that's true, that's a very apt name.
At least according to thank you, Brandy. Yeah, according to there's a
Bug.
YouTuber who I watch who claims that Billy Bong, I think his name is. If you've never seen his YouTube channel or watched any of his videos, I highly recommend it. He's got a very interesting voice.
It technically translates bug.
As bug. Okay. So he's taking liberties with which
Slightly.
bug that means specifically. Well,
Either way,
he's no
it's,
fan of hers. and I
it's
don't
pretty
blame him.
appropriate, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's a piece of shit, is what she
Yeah,
is.
she's awful.
So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Alyssa Milano. She renounced Linda Sarsour and the women's march.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could have sworn she boycotted or renounced something else.
I think it was just
I can't
that,
remember what it
but yeah, I know. I mean, and hats off to her. I mean, it would have been nice to get that 2 years ago when the Women's March started. And
Right.
all this stuff was public information then, and
Yeah.
everyone on the right was like, yeah, guys, you have like open anti-Semites as the leaders of this organization,
Right.
But
Well, what isn't one of them? One of the women, one of the black women, was like a prominent activist back in the '60s, like a feminist who her and some of her friends like kidnapped a gay man and
Jeez.
yeah, and she went to prison for that back in the 60s. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I'm gonna see if I can find. Is it Tamika Mallory? Does that sound right?
It could be.
I'll see if I can find what she went to jail for.
But like, these are the people who are running your activist benefits or events or whatever, and that's just crazy. Like, you have to be very selective over the people you choose to represent your movement. Fucking crazy ass fucking death to Jews and people kidnapping gay men and torturing them and going to prison for it. Like, these are not the people you pick. I often reference why can't I think of her name? Who's the black chick at the back of the bus?
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. Thank you. I'm bad with names. So Rosa Parks was not the first person to stand up and say no to that whole thing. Like, there were 2 years prior to that, there was some woman who did the same thing. Like, they said, get in the back of the bus, and she was like, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck you. No, I'm not doing it. The problem was that she had a history of drug abuse, and so the people who ended up supporting Rosa Parks passed up the opportunity to support this woman and make her a prominent figure because of her background. Because they were like, well, who are you? What's your background? What's your history? Oh, yeah, that's going to come out. Nope, no thanks. We'll wait for the next one. we can't have that. That's going to undermine everything that we're trying to do. We need somebody who's pristine. We need to pick the right person for this kind of movement. And so that's why Rosa Parks got it. She wasn't the first one to do that. They need to employ those kind of that kind of selection again. They need to fucking be a little more careful with who they're picking to be the face of their movement. It's just,
yeah.
Did I get? Oh,
no. Sorry, I'm trying to read.
Really quiet, really.
I was trying to read about the people. I don't find anybody that was actually.
No, I don't.
No, I don't. No, not convicted of murder.
No, kidnapping, torture. I'm not. To be honest, there's only a couple actor leaders. Now she may be involved, but
maybe it wasn't the women's movement. Maybe she was involved with the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Well, this woman is involved with Black Lives Matter. She also the other, because she's also a Nation of Islam supporter and supporter of the former Black Liberation Army member convicted of murder of a state trooper in New Jersey, I think, and she supports her. And it's like, no, she should.
No, she shouldn't.
Anywho, I got another story today, which is fantastic. What is that shitty little rap? He's like 6'9" something. He got this suspended sentence like a month ago for his part in a child sex thing. That's his
name. I thought you were saying he's 6'9". No.
That's his rap name.
Yeah. The guy who touches kids.
Right. So today he was. Hold on. Yes, 6'9" with. Oh yeah, that's all fucked up. Takeshi. He is being charged along with a bunch of his other gamers with all kinds of crimes of and drugs and everything. So he is going to prison for life. Yes, gone. Because this this is federal, so it's not. He's not going to get like the light shit that he got from the state judge for that touching a naked underage child got off probation. Yeah, he's a total piece of shit. So yeah, he's down for the count this time.
Good.
It makes you long for the days of Al Capone, you know? Like, he didn't touch kids.
Yeah, he blew up kids.
Yeah, that's better.
I mean, he didn't touch them.
Yeah, that's better than touching them.
It is better.
You know?
I mean, in all seriousness, I do, like, as far as the things you can do to another person, I do rank rape just as high as murder. Like, because it's that you're violating such a sacred part of another human being's individuality.
Yeah, you're murdering.
And you've robbed them of their agency.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
There's some long-term damage that can come from that.
Exactly. Yeah.
That doesn't come from just being murdered. Like, I suppose torture followed by murder would be different. You know, I guess that would be worse than rape. Because I do believe there are things that are worse than rape. Arrested on racketeering charges. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's so. Why are they? Why is this the trend now? The fucking the girly hair and the tattoos on your face.
Mumble rappers.
Like, the only job you can get is he was destined. He might as well, like, he. This is what he wanted. It seems to me, because that's like the only job you're capable of getting, if that's what you're doing to yourself, is you know, dick sucker at your local prison.
Right.
You're not getting a job with that hair and those tattoos and that kind of fuck. Like, dude, yeah, I don't know. It's just, how do you that reminds me of that one guy. What's that fucking rock band where the singer turned out to be like Satan himself? Like, he fucking had he was doing things to kids, and he had child pornography on his fucking Lost Prophets. That's it. The lead singer for Lost Prophets like did some horrendous, horrible shit to some kids, I think, and had a bunch of stuff on his computer, like child pornography and all kinds of shit. Like, he was just a real, like, horrifically, like, it was just extensive, the amount of involvement and the amount of material, apparently. And, like, he would joke and stuff about it, and they would just kind of, like, laugh nervously, and like, oh, yeah, of course, sure, yeah, you like touch, yeah, let's go. No, we're not gonna all go touch kids now to celebrate the gig we just did. That's real funny. And then he'd leave, and they'd be like, wait a minute, you mean to tell us all this time that wasn't a joke? Like, he was leaving to go touch kids? That's fucking crazy.
It's you.
The difference is, hey, dick face, don't say that shit. They're gonna believe that shit. These people don't know any better. The difference is I joke. I don't actually go and do it.
Hey, Josh. Zarbamba found a chick that you were thinking about. She was a featured speaker at the Women's March. Her name is Donna Hilton.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, she was released from prison in 2000 something.
She did murder him.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, why would they do? What the fuck?
She's now an activist.
If I remember correctly, it was something to do with, like, feminist activism. Like, it was like sticking it to the man, literally.
Ugh.
I can just read you. They were her and 3 accomplices drugged, kidnapped 62-year-old real estate broker at the behest of Louis Miranda, who thought that this dude had cheated him out of $139,000 on a mutual con, in which the two allegedly sold shares in New York City condos and pocketed the money. So it was just, the one about feminism was criminals.
It's about money.
Yeah, They
Wow.
starved, burned, beat, sexually assaulted, raped, and tortured him, and then he died.
Oh, that's right. She shoved like a broom handle or something up his ass. I forget.
Yeah,
They were mean to him. They were real mean to him.
they were very mean.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's who you have speaking at a women's march. Like, this is who you have representing. That's who you want the rest of us to look at you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you need to be a little more careful about who you pick to as the face and voice of your movement.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're going to have somebody who's got a prior conviction of rape, torture, and murder, telling you, you know, that I am the speaker of your generation of like, no, fuck no, you don't represent me, bitch. Fuck that. Like, nope, no, thank you.
Oh, and they want somebody. Rosario Dawson wants to make a movie.
Come on.
What?
Yeah, based on her.
Yeah, that's the bitch. That's fuck that, dude.
Unsurprisingly, she got to do women's stuff, literature while in prison.
Oh, it was a metal rod.
Ooh, and she's
Jesus
an ordained Christian minister now too.
I'm sorry, you don't get to.
At least she admits that what she did.
Yeah.
Leave it to liberal Hollywood to say, let's make a hero out of a person who raped, tortured, and murdered someone.
Yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind? This is why. When will Hollywood realize, like, we don't want to hear what you have to say anymore? None of us think that you're sane. Like, just make shit that entertains us. Dance, monkeys, and we don't want anything else from you.
Right.
Like, you all. I feel like they're so cut off from reality. They spend so much time pretending to be these important people, doctors, firemen, the president, that they end up actually thinking, like, I know what I'm doing. Like, like, I'm actually somebody important. You're not.
Right.
You pretend to be people. That's all you do.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up. You don't know shit. Fucking tired of that.
Speaking of that kind of sentiment, my favorite thing is this whole push of, like, for a trans character, it has to be played by a trans individual. And it's just like,
right.
This was an entire controversy like months ago with Scarlett Johansson. And it's like, you guys do know what an actor is, right? It's literally somebody whose entire job is to play something that they're not. That's the point. Yeah. So for Scarlett Johansson, who is cisgender, to play a transgender character as an actress, that's fine, because that's what actresses do. They play things that they're not. That's literally their job.
The best part of that story...
Apply the same sentiment to any other part in a movie.
Right.
You know what? You can't play the part of a Martian alien because you are not actually a Martian alien. You can't play the part of the president because you yourself have never actually been the president.
I'm sorry, Sir Ian McKellen, you cannot play Gandalf the Wizard because you are not, in fact, a wizard. Yeah.
I mean,
this is a dangerous rabbit hole to go down.
So you're all kinds of magical, but it's not the same.
So the best part of that story with the Scarlett Johansson, of course, is that she was the only reason that project was going to go ahead.
Yeah.
And as soon as she pulled out, all of the funding dried up. So instead of getting a movie featuring a story about a trans person, they get nothing. Which is
because they had to bitch about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they had to bitch about it.
Because they can't help but eat their own, and it's beautiful to watch.
Right. Yes.
And you know what? That's a common trend. I can play the part of an extraterrestrial I'm a leprechaun. Goddamn right.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a trend because the same thing happened with Apu, right? They bitched about about that Simpsons character because he's too stereotypical. So now what do they get? Nothing. You fucking got him removed. Good to go. Now there's no representation for you and your fucking people. Good job.
Also, I love how that was the only stereotype they noticed on that show.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know, didn't notice the rest of the cast. Like, all of them are stereotypes. Yeah. That's the point.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hey, we've only got about
funny.
It's 10:36. Does anybody else want to join in the? I know we've got some people.
If anybody would like to be unmuted,
I don't know. I'm just asking if anybody wants to be unmuted.
Maybe Paul.
Well,
it says several people are typing. Apu isn't being removed. I heard he.
Well, that was a report from. That was a report from a media outlet, but it's true that the people, the Simpsons, had never come out and said that they are taking him out.
Oh,
she says it was a hoax. Okay. So
okay.
somebody got fooled.
Well, that's good.
Okay, that is very good because I thought they'd addressed it where they were basically like they did a whole episode and they were like, so I guess we're just gonna at the end. Lisa's like, I guess we're just gonna
they basically
and pretend and wait for it. So that's their way of saying fuck off.
That's
they just.
Why I was really shocked that now they were caving in. But I'm glad they're not.
No, Allison.
Can someone get removed from the conversation? This fucking bitch here has been saying she wants me removed from my own fucking. The show has my name in it. You dumb cock. What's wrong with you?
I will say, if you want to not hear Auger's voice, you're in the wrong show. This is kind of the point, right?
Oh my God. You know what? There's a whole fucking group of people who agree with you, and you should go there.
It's called the Librarian Outlaws.
Librarian Outlaws, and you can tell them how you don't want to hear me at all, and they will totally love you. They will love you. They'll love you so much. They will love all of that. You go there, and you will find like-minded. You'll find a whole group of people who will be your friend instantly. So you go do that. Did you still have a question, Allison? Did you want us to unmute you? Threat to society. Does that ring a bell? I love that. Who was that?
Who was that? Yeah, they called her an immediate threat to society.
It was the black girl. It was Brittany or Tiffany or whatever the fuck her name. No, it wasn't Sarah.
Tatiana, you mean?
Yeah, Tatiana. That's right.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was Tatiana.
What was the context of that comment?
Said, well, because she was asking about Allison, who is Allison, and that's how it started. That she and I were at each other because I said, well, Allison's this person that people don't like. I said, why don't you ask Allison herself? Like, why, ask Allison if you're so interested. And she's like, I don't know her. Okay. And I was like, okay, well, let me tell you who she is. And she was like, well, I don't know. Cause I've never heard her, I'm hearing different things from other people. And I said, well, I know her personally. So, I'm telling you, this is who she is. And she's like, well, I don't know about that. And I'm like, so now all of a sudden you don't trust me?
It's like, why did you ask?
Because I'm hearing things about you.
Yeah. I chimed in on that thread. I remember that thread. I chimed in too and said who Alice, and she didn't believe me either. She thought that you and lying to her, manipulate her into some master plan to trust Allison. It was
right. And then I started mocking her about that, and she's like, oh, here you go. This is the typical Josh. And she starts in on me and typical Auger. And I'm like, you're the one, because I was like, this is how you always are. You play the victim the minute somebody disagrees with you or says that you're wrong about something, and she's like, I'm not the victim, okay? I'm not. You're treating me that way, and I'm like, and it just evolved from there, and I just fucking continued, and then she was certain. It came out somewhere after that when she made a call out post about this is how Auger is, and I know that Allison, from everything I hear about her, she's an immediate threat to society, and that was when I went and changed her nickname in chat 5, immediate threat to society, and I was like, that's brilliant, that's perfect. Like, that's the greatest compliment I've ever heard anybody get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought Allison and I were the same person.
Yep. Yeah, things got crazy.
It did get crazy. All right, let's unmute her. I'll unmute you. All right, let's see. Allison.
Oh God.
Allison, you should be unmuted. I think you're muted on your end.
Yeah, she might. Where she got?
So, I think you're unmuted. Snuggle twat. Snuggle twat. Oh my!
Oh, I meant snaggle, not snuggle twat. Oops.
Snuggle twat's funnier.
Snuggle twat's every woman that you're having sex with.
Not necessarily. Some women don't have twats that you would want to snuggle with. Like, you'd still fuck that twat, but you wouldn't want to just like nestle your head against it. Like women who have like all of their labia hidden inside the little 2 mounds of lumpy flesh. You know what I mean? Like you have to,
Nicole, try feeling.
Hold on. Like, you've got the ones that have the fucking the beef curtains that are just like splayed out, right? And then you have some women where all of that's like internal, and you've just got like 2. What?
Yeah, nothing.
I was.
Nope.
And the one that has all the the labia kind of stuffed in, those are the ones that you would nestle your head against. But like, you wouldn't want to, with all that meat just hanging out.
Roast beef.
You don't want to just slap that against your fucking face.
Well, it's still a vagina, Jesus, dude.
Some of them are.
If you slap your face against a vagina, it's just a vagina. Jeez.
I mean, yeah, but you
haven't lived with these.
Some of them just don't have prettier appearance, I guess you could say.
Some of them are.
Some of them are gross, but you shouldn't be fucking women with gross place.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, some women don't have. Hey! Don't be nice to some vaginas. They're just made that way. Some of.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then don't be a vagina. Not want to stop. Okay, Allison, we can kind of hear you muttering in the background.
Well, I'm usually laughing at what dipshit says.
Here we go. Here it comes.
I think
Is that it?
high.
That's all you got?
I think she's too high.
You
too high to function.
Yeah, she is.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm in between bacon.
That was the least convincing.
I'm really good.
I'm not.
No, I've been smoking and drinking all day. Got to get ready for the holiday.
Right, so you're not high at all because you've been smoking.
Yeah, but I'm not that high. I'm narcoleptic. Narcoleptics don't get drunk like y'all high.
Are you in the kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah, good girl. Where's your husband?
Nice talk, Allison.
Did she leave?
I don't know, but
You're so funny. Unmute me, she said. I'm unmuting Brandy.
There you go.
Give me a second, Brandy.
I got her. I got it.
Touch hot food and talk.
Brandy, you're unmuted.
Hi, guys.
Hey!
How are you?
Hey, Brandy.
Hi.
We're good. How are you? Just real quick, for anybody who's listening who doesn't know, so Rhiannon, I guess, connected with Brandy and her people over at the party boat, and so now we're like sister groups now.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, you should have, or you can in the future, post up this link if you want and invite party boat people to come, because they would be interested in some of these conversations, and they are super knowledgeable about like these particular people you guys were asking about.
Yeah.
So they know it like more offhand than even I. I might know who you're talking about, but I won't know their name.
I wasn't. Nicole is at a party boat, but we'll make sure next time to do that.
Yeah, isn't Rhiannon still a member? I didn't.
Rhiannon got 30 days.
Oh, she's that.
4 days ago.
Yeah.
That. So I know, but we've got a few members in there. I think.
I forget what she got zucked for.
Fuck, I don't know, some stupid shit. It's probably it was something ridiculous. They didn't act fucking.
Was it the people? Was it the people over at the Christopher Hitchens group? Because I know she was trolling them.
I don't know. I thought that I heard that it wasn't. She didn't know what she got zucked for because they didn't.
It was like
that shit's been going on for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's happening like over and over. Like I don't even know how you can correct your behavior if you don't know what it is that you did that supposedly violated.
Right.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I'm telling you, these new algorithms and these new community standards and the way that they're handling things with Facebook now, it can't go on like this forever. It can't go on like this for much longer. You're gonna have people jumping.
What?
It's just gonna lose a lot of. I mean, that and the algorithms was what they're pumping out, allowing you to see or not see. They seem to be doing something where they're deterring group, and where group posts are not coming up on your feed, and even like I know for me, like even if my friends are posting where I'd normally see like a lot of their stuff because it's pushed forward, I'll search their name in the party boat and I'll see a shitload of posts that they made that I didn't ever.
Yeah.
So they're definitely trying to, I don't know, steer people away from participating in groups, which is really fucking.
Yeah. It's like one of the best parts of Facebook now, especially.
It's the only part that's worth a damn. And
well, they're like, hey, connect with people. Oh, no, not that much.
Right. Don't connect with those people.
Hey, not like that.
Not did like anybody else? Did anybody else notice Messenger flipping back and forth? It like changed its format. I think it was like one day last week, and it was different for like a day.
Yes.
And then it changed back, and now it's back to that shitty.
Yeah.
And then if you notice, they eliminated your group chat category. So if you're in any group chats where they were all under like its own little category where you could find them.
Oh yeah.
That's gone. That's gone.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're unable to our group today. We were trying to add somebody that got left behind. The whole add member button just doesn't work.
Did you
really?
Did it ever get resolved?
Not
because they moved so much stuff on there that I knew it took me a while to even find like where message requests were or where the settings were in your group chat. Like they changed it.
No. Not on the chat. This is just on Facebook.
Just regular to add them to a group.
Yeah, and it's It's been funky today.
That's probably just a glitch.
Yeah.
The Christopher Chitchen's group is
I
filled with
I get unzucked tonight.
Oh, do you?
I
Which
do.
one? Which one?
The Josh Auger account.
Okay.
Brandy, I'll probably be hitting you up with a friend request and then sending a request to the party.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Still doesn't work.
And anybody that might be listening, I don't know if anybody has tried to join the party vote or anything, but we'll get to you. That's just kind of how we roll.
Yeah, be sure to add in if you're in the group, if you're in HOA and you're trying to get added to the party boat. Brandy, from what I understand, if they throw in on the third question or something like that,
yeah,
they
where
heard
it says
about
like,
that
why do you follow Sam Harris or whatever? Just say that you're coming from that group.
Yeah,
because you got a shit ton of requests. God.
Yeah, we have like a couple hundred right now, but we don't really like let too many people in off the request list, unless we know who it is.
Right.
Or if they're added by somebody that's like already a member, that's a cool member, like we won't even we have a bunch of requests right now. Members adding multiple people, and I'm like, who the fuck are even you, dude? You don't post, you don't comment, you don't do anything.
Right.
Like, you're all of a sudden tonight you want to add 5 people?
Yeah.
So, and we do pretty heavy vetting. So, we just don't let people in so easily. And just because of the content, it's like very similar to you guys, but even more politically controversial at times.
Right.
And we just want to make sure that like, we don't care where you lean or what you feel like or like, we don't care if you're super left. We have some lefties in there and they're funny and we don't care. But if you're going to be one of these people that more likely than not to get really fired up and emotional about seeing a meme and take it to heart and want to use it to smash the patriarchy, you probably aren't going to get in.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, we don't have those types in our group either.
Right. And I explained it to Josh, like just kind of the things that we kind of steer away from, because especially with whatever they're doing with groups now and this hate speech and the bullying is now a new thing you have to worry about. So, so it's to the point where if you tag somebody in a post and you're kind of talking shit to them and they report it, because they can report you for harassment if you've fucking tagged their name. So people need to be aware. Like, and you've seen us in the Christopher Hitchens group. We're fucking with all those people. And I'm like telling people, okay, don't tag them anymore. Don't tag them.
Yeah.
Like, you can write out their name maybe, but don't tag them because even tagged comments, like people tagged comments where there's a comment that would be considered any type of violation, like no matter which way you try to look at it.
Right.
But they tagged somebody's name and they got Zuck.
Wow. And the report works?
Yes. And, here's the stupid thing where I don't know about all you guys, but I do 100% of my Facebooking on my phone. So I'm always on the mobile app. So I don't know if it's different on computer or whatever. But a couple months ago, where they didn't have this up until a couple months ago, they did a Facebook update where anytime you're in a thread, it automatically is trying to tag the last person or something.
Yes.
So it's popping up. Yeah, it's popping up a tag whether you're trying to talk to that person or not. And me personally, if I'm talking to 1 or 2 other people in the thread, you don't need to fucking tag me every time. I know who you're talking to. It's annoying. So, but it's doing that auto tag where, so if you're just replying to somebody, even if it's not even directed to them, that auto tag thing can get you fucking zucked.
Jeez.
So people need to understand kind of where Facebook is going with this, where anybody that is like, oh, they're harassing me because they said my name.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I put up, for the people that, aren't in the party boat, I did put up a big post, like trying to let our members know what's kind of going on so that they can be a little bit more careful how they interact like throughout Facebook. Because people are losing their accounts. Some people are on Zucks right now where they don't know if they're going to get their account.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that, Joel?
You should read that. you need notes.
I know.
Although, to be last 1, 2, 3, 4 that you've got, I mean, the last ones for your regular accounts were all from shit from last year, which is fucking.
Oh, yeah.
That's somebody is going onto your page and they are reporting your profile as a whole for inappropriate content. Now, somebody could be sitting back there scrolling through a year's worth of posts, and there are people that do that.
Yeah, we wouldn't put it past them.
But it is as simple as reporting the profile, and then Facebook sends the Autobots or whoever it is they have working for them to scroll your. And that's how people are getting zucked for like posts a couple months old to 6 months old to like my friend got zucked for a post that was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, Josh, you 2017.
Yeah, it's more than a year old. Yeah, the last one I got, I think, was for more. I posted over a year.
Yeah, so
was that inside a group? Because they can also find those if they search your name.
No, it was. I believe they were posts on my timeline, my profile.
Yeah,
they're reporting. They're probably reporting your profile.
So
that'd be my guess.
I know you changed your profile to private, but I think you need to block everybody so they can't even find it. That's the.
That's what I'm saying. If you guys are having this situation. Your prime suspects, I would be blocking them the second you set up a new account. Like, go look at whatever it is you want to look at that maybe you couldn't see for a while, and before they even catch wind that you have that account, I would be blocking it.
Yeah, I've got pretty much blocked already, but I know Josh, you had one of them you got zucked. You were already zucked, and you got zucked again.
Wait, what?
Got an additional 30 days, and it was still like a 30 days.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I had somebody.
Yeah.
I had somebody just message me that they were on a 60-day Zuck, and I was like, "What? They're giving those out now?" And they pretty much told me the same thing, that
no way.
30-day ban. Well, they're still on a 30-day ban.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. So you just log into all regular to your profiles and block all these people.
Yeah.
I haven't done it if you haven't.
And if you end up like making any other ones, I would just definitely go in and preemptively, because it's going to guarantee the success of your profile at this rate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I went through the Auger, the Josh Auger profile that's about to get unzucked, and looked through the friends, and funny enough, I found a sock. What is it? Bill Weld. I think it might have been Bill Welding.
Yeah. That was on there.
Like, yeah, he was in my friends list, and I was like, son of a bitch. So yeah,
just laying low the whole time.
Right?
Yeah.
I said just laying low the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Fuckers. God.
Yeah, I need to purge my friends list too, but fortunately for me, I'm not running for people like actively looking for me that I know of. That I know of. So
just give it time. You hang out with us long enough, and you're guilty by association.
Yeah. Oh, honey, I already went through that.
Oh God! Did you really?
Yeah, I really did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I already went through all that. I have my fucking house posted up online, everything.
Yep. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about.
Fucking hell! I'm sorry.
I had fucking little. They're not even Antifa. They're just little fucking bullshit bitches. Is what following. But they think they want to act like that. Okay, they want to be like white girls with Black Lives Matter posters, and that's fine. I don't care. Support Black people. I'm not really sure. I don't support the movement. Like, That's fine. But they are like literally trying to twist anything anybody says racist and reporting everything, doing like hacking, doxing, all of it. So creating Facebook pages to reveal who the alt-right racist people are, and regardless of if you've done anything alt-right or racist.
I forgot about that. They had a whole page dedicated to outing people and doxing.
Oh yeah. We've had that all done to like. That's why we kind of know what's going on, and that's also why we take these extra precautions to let people get in the group, because we're not trying to have people have to do it.
No.
Right.
No, it really sucks when you're just trying to have crazy completely ruining it for you and trying to screw up your personal lives when you're not doing anything at all.
I just don't know who has that much time, to be honest.
Know.
And
right?
then the other thing, it's very maliciously intended, because where they're collecting comments and whatever from to put on display, they literally read the thread and they're taking a comment out of context 100%.
Oh yeah,
and trying to display it as racist or hate speech or bigoted or whatever the fuck they are trying to do. But if anybody read how that comment came into play, they would never get that. So it's whatever it's done. Like, don't you think there's enough authentic racists that if you just want to fucking, pinpoint them and expose them, that's fine. But you're just taking regular people trying to have a conversation and paint them out as these bigoted racists that are perpetuating hate across the nation?
Yeah.
No, that's not happening.
No, we're familiar. Josh is very familiar with that. Had many things taken and put on display completely out of context.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to...
Oh, by the way, just so that you guys know how stupid it is too, I got zucked for saying white devils jokingly.
Oh my god!
Literally,
yeah, they don't really
white
understand sarcasm
and jokingly. So, and I did get it for that, and I don't know. So it is getting.
Yeah,
the people who my little bitches, as I lovingly like to refer to them, tried to take a joke that I would use with Joel and Nicole. They have a niece who's 16 years old, and the niece likes to come over and visit with them. She'll spend a couple of weeks or whatever. And I like to jokingly, like at some point, Nicole shared a picture of her and her niece. And I like to joke about everything. Like there's nothing off limits to me. So I was like, hey, that's your niece, huh? And of course, Joel was immediately like, knock that off. So playing the straight man, right? Which makes me want to do it more. I'm like, hey, when's your niece coming over?
Right.
Right. And so it's a joke between all of us. Like it's their niece and they know I'm joking.
Yeah.
I know I'm joking. We're sharing a little friendly joke with each other. And they tried to fucking, my little bitches tried to put that out there in the BCLC as though, look, he's a pedo. He's a fucking pedo. Yep. He's making jokes about Joe and Nicole's niece.
Yeah.
Because he's a dirty pedophile.
Yeah, it went really far with the pedophile stuff.
Oh, man.
To the point where they were putting like mine and Joel's name out there and that we were supporting this pedophilia and that they were going to track down our family and let them know we were supporting the pedophilia.
Oh, and this was because you didn't like unfriend and condemn
Josh. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So and that's the thing. It's like, there's like authentic people out there.
Yeah.
Go after them. Take all that fucking energy, track them down, expose them, let society know that your kid might get fucked in the ass on the way to school because this person lives here. Like, I'm all for it.
Right.
But why are you trying to take regular people and make them out to be like monsters that damn well they're probably not? And you're just planting these fucking seeds and ideas of people. And, I just don't understand that kind of mentality.
I think most of those people who are going after people saying, "Oh, you're a pedophile," when they're really not, are just these are parents of children of ugly children, and they're just
wow.
that pedophiles would like. They're mad that their kid would never get spots, and they're upset about it, and they're lashing out at anyone they can find, and that's and that's it's not a healthy way to be.
And now this clip is going to be recorded and put out for everyone to hear as proof of Josh.
I'm sorry that your kid is ugly and nobody wants to fuck him. That's not my fault. I didn't make that kid. You make ugly kids. That's something you have to deal with. It's not my fault. Don't take it out on.
Do me a favor and do not go speak at any victim survival meetings.
She doesn't know about my Ashton Kutcher joke, so she doesn't know yet.
Oh god.
Well, I don't. Is it something about he wasn't even born when Demi Moore was married to Bruce Willis?
No, it's nothing that tame. So, so everybody knows who Ashton Kutcher was or is. I'm sorry. And the thing about him is that I always thought that he was just kind of some, goofball. The first time I'd ever seen him was on that, that 70s show. And he's never really been much more to me than, the guy who made that stupid Dude, Where's My Car movie. Yeah. And then a couple of years back, I discovered that he started a nonprofit agency or organization dedicated to looking up and tracking down
pedophiles.
Child pornography ring online. He even went before Congress and gave
he's done great things.
Right. So I mean, it's amazing. I as soon as I watched that, you can tell from his speech, like he has been in the shit. Like he was hands on with some of that stuff. You could tell by what he was saying. He had seen some shit,
Wasn't he like a high school model before he got picked up as an actor? And isn't that 70s show is like his first acting gig? Right?
I think so.
And I think he was like a little high school model in like some small town or some. I don't know. I think I remember something about him being like a model when he was in high school. So it's quite possible that he got passed around those type.
Maybe that's why that became an important thing for him. All I know is that as soon as I saw that, I had a newfound respect for him. And that's why every time I'm jerking it to kiddie porn, I think to myself, thank God that Ashton Kutcher's out getting rid of this stuff because it's disgusting. And I'm so glad that he's out there making the world a better place and getting rid of all of this stuff. Because it's gross and it needs to go. And he's out there he's fighting the good fight.
Well, I guess that's one way to get punked.
So
did you guys hear about the other guy on that 70s show, Danny Masterson? I was kind of bummed out about hearing about his situation.
Yeah.
Didn't he rape somebody?
Dude, like 3 people.
Yeah.
That makes me so sad because he was the one I liked out of them.
Dude, I want to stay out of almost all the celebrity shenanigans and scandals that have gone on, as far as the sexual. I think that he bummed me out the most. Like, I was kind of bummed out by Kevin Spacey, but I mean, there's just Kevin, whatever. He's a great actor. He really is.
He is.
The Danny Masterson one really bummed me. I was like, what? Not Hyde? Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Yeah. He does that new show with Ashton, The Ranch.
Yeah,
and I love him on that.
It's so bad.
So bad.
Is he still working?
No. They took him off that show. It
was okay. I was gonna say
it was like a Netflix family on the farm show, and it was so god awful. I had a laugh track, and it's just
the laugh track, man.
I like that show.
Oh, it's bad.
Josh, Jesus,
you said we like that.
It.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about ranching, so it was fun to watch.
You don't need to know anything about ranching. god awful.
I thought it was funny. I liked it. And what's his name? Elliot is on it.
Elliot? The dude from E.T.?
No. The guy from Math, from the show. The dude, he's the cowboy sitting at the bar and the.
Oh, Sam.
Oh,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I'm bad with
the guy
names.
that plays every cowboy character in every movie for the last 20 years. Yeah.
You know what? Surprise! He was not in that new movie, Ballad of Buster Scruggs. That's too bad.
Yeah, he should have been.
What?
I don't even know what that is. I haven't heard of it.
It's a
Oh my
Netflix
God, we were talking
movie.
about it earlier.
Yeah, it's a Netflix movie by the Coen brothers.
Oh, okay.
It's well worth watching. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
But,
Cowboys and shit.
Yeah, it's a Western.
It's 6 short movies.
Yeah.
6 short movies?
Yeah,
Well,
6 short films that
it's
are
like-
all put together. 6
Yeah,
different
short stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about
it
time to
called?
wrap up,
Something
John.
different?
Oh, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Oh, okay.
Tom Waits is in it. Are you a fan of Tom Waits?
Is he a singer? The singer?
Holy shit.
Singer and
Yeah.
He's a singer, right?
Yes, he is.
Of what band? Don't fuck with me.
What band?
Yes.
Tom Waits.
This is some 70s shit. I don't know this band.
Tom Waits is the lead singer of Tom Waits.
Well, he got really creative with that name then.
If you don't know who that is, look up the album Real Gone.
Just what's the radio song?
There's no radio song. He's not a radio. He
has
doesn't
to
get
be.
airplay. He's not. There's
There
not.
has to be because I've heard of him.
Yeah, because he's a cult fucking classic musician. But you've never heard him on the radio. Guaranteed.
Wow.
Allison put up a link, I think.
A lot of his earlier stuff was very ballady. The stuff that he started with was very like drinking whiskey and getting depressed kind of music. But he changed that up with some really good stuff. One of my favorite albums of his is called Real Gone. And it's really good. You should listen to that.
Okay.
So
There's a song called Shake It Baby. And it doesn't. You would think that would be a pop song.
Is the song that's been on the radio? That's on the radio. Yes. That's
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Don't
Sing it, Joel.
I'm not going to sing
You just ruined it.
I did.
You are so strict with that no singing policy.
A preacher waving a gun around, shake it, baby. That.
I might have changed the channel when that came out.
He's very throaty. He's very raspy.
What were
Okay.
you saying, Adam?
I was saying you are so strict with that no singing policy when it comes to Joel.
The only time I don't get mad at him for singing is when he's singing to our, and then I find it cute.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the time, it just like fills me with rage, and I need him.
Wait. Don't you also not let him dance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta pick one, girl. Let that boy live.
We've talked about this multiple
I used
times
to
in like
think that
AdMod
too.
chat, but just so the audience can understand the atrocity that is going on in the Jocole household. Like, we're going into it right now.
Yeah, I guess I have a weird thing when Joel either sings or dances, but she does both way too often. It makes me mad. I get full of rage on the inside, and he has to stop. And if he doesn't,
She'll hit me.
I hit
She
him.
will actually hit me.
Have you tried talking back?
Wait, what?
What'd you say, Brandy?
You know what? I used to fucking think that was an awful thing, but then you did something, you dirty fucking Pakistan. You did something that I was like, nope, you deserve every bit of that. And I don't remember what it was.
He ruined something. He ruined something like he always. And then
did.
he finally understood. Yeah.
I was like, you know what? No dancing or singing for you. Fuck you.
Yep.
And I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was so important. You wanted to take away my dance. And you forgot.
Oh my god.
Gosh, you're dying.
I still have that cough.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was
got
funny.
a cough
It was
too
so important.
What, Brandy?
I got a cough too last week. Maybe there's like a plague in California aside from the smoke because it started before that.
God, I hope so. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's probably where it's from.
The smoke.
Yeah, there's all these particulates in the air now.
Oh, I get that. I'm just getting over clearing out my lungs from dirt and dried cow feces. Cows. Ugh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the air we breathe. Just a bunch of shit burning in the air.
Yeah. Fucking a new fire just started. Where did I heard it on the radio? Like it's up to like a full acre, and it's
like starting right now.
Yeah, it started today, I think. And they've got the other one. They got the other one. The camp 96% contained, I think, but this new one started up.
At least it's still small, though. Like an acre isn't too big.
It'll get bigger, trust me.
Yeah. Y'all have any rain coming?
Oh, it might rain a little tomorrow.
Well, that'll be good.
Oh, you think
Rain
so?
here is like 5 minutes. That's what they said.
Yeah. And it's mist. It's like it's not even rain. It's mist.
Dude, it's a joke. We had a crazy storm like a month or so ago, maybe a little longer, and that was odd because we never get that much rain, and it fucking poured like for a whole.
It came down heavy.
Yeah, and it was thunder and lightning, and it was like a real storm.
Yeah. I remember that.
But we don't get that.
Lightning.
It like never rains. It rains here. I swear it can rain all around where I am. And here it might rain for like 10 seconds of drizzle, just enough to make your car look.
Yeah.
Like not even enough to rinse it off. No.
Yep.
That's like up in the sun.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a big storm system coming through starting tomorrow. They're supposed to dump like 2 feet of snow in the mountain.
Yeah, but that's I think a lot more north than us.
Yeah,
okay.
they're south.
Okay, you guys are south.
Yeah, I'm like 30 minutes from LA. So
yeah.
I'm like pretty much in.
Yeah.
I'm like 45.
Yeah.
So we're way down there. That all that shit that goes on in Northern California, that has nothing to do with us. It's like a whole different world. Like we live in the land of perpetual sunshine. It's like never stops being, and eternal summer.
I wish it would. And the fires need to burn further south.
Why?
Because that's where the people who deserve to be burned.
That's not going to be good for anybody.
It will be. It will be. It will be good for us.
Josh, you sound just like that movie you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, yeah, that movie still rubbed off on him, even after this political shift of his.
The Last Supper movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in that, when I was younger and I saw that, I likened myself to Courtney B. Vance's character. I was like, I'd be like him. And he was the one who was like supportive of, yes, let's kill people, and didn't care that they like deserved it or not. He's like, fuck it, kill the sheriff, kill everyone. Like, and I was like, yeah, him. I'd be him. And even though my ideology has changed, I still think that's who.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
I don't know. I always feel bad for the scenery because it is beautiful here. And
the scenery, that's the beauty of it. The scenery will grow back.
Huh?
The scenery will grow back.
That'll take so fucking long.
Ever, though.
Yeah,
like
dude.
our giant fire.
Like, these are like 100-year-old trees and shit.
Yeah.
But ours isn't meant.
Yeah, and I know, but like our fire.
7.
Yeah, we had horrible fires here 7 years ago, and it wiped out all of our beautiful pine trees and forests in our county, and it looks like shit here still, like just utter shit. It's so ugly, which is sad because our county was really, really pretty before that, and now it's really depressing to drive.
Yeah, this fire burned from like places that were like 35, 40 minutes to the beach all the way to the like a 35, 40 minute drive. Like that's kind of far.
Yeah, very.
Were you actually like in the burn zone? Because like it was primarily Bastrop.
Just outside.
You were just outside of it.
We were just outside of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Bastrop, and a lot of Smithville burned too, actually, but not like the town.
Wow.
Right.
But within the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
right over there.
My friend got married in Bastrop State Park, so I was out there like within this past year, and that area, like
so
it's regrowing, but it's still pretty bad. Like it looks like the fire was not that long ago, but it was 7 years.
Yeah, the only thing you really see now is like scrub growing. All the pretty pine trees are gone.
So we need to have that fire here in Southern California. All of like the southern half of it needs to burn like that, because not only will we lose some liberals in the fire, hopefully, but it will also make the place. Hang on, it'll also make the place ugly, and liberals don't like ugly, and so they'll leave. The ones who survive will probably move somewhere else.
They'll move here.
Yeah, we don't want that. Remember?
Probably. No, I mean, I don't. I don't know where they should go though. Like they'll probably move to.
That would be okay.
Yeah.
If they all move, who's going to be left to rake the forest?
We have a lot of inmates.
Oh, now we're letting them out?
We're using them to help with the fires, actually.
I mean, I think they should be. I think they should be chained to the forest and fucking make a difference. I do. I'm all for that.
To the forest.
What's crazy about the inmates who are allowed, who are trained and go and fight they're actually, most of them are not allowed firefighters after they get out of prison. And these are all non-violent, obviously. But
that's kind of dick.
Because of the licensing law.
Licensing laws.
They just say,
you need a license for freaking everything.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of good to know that maybe they want our firefighters to have a little bit better of a background, a little bit more pristine. At least that brings a little bit more peace of mind.
I mean, I can understand if we were talking about law enforcement or something, but you're talking about guys who carry hoses and put out fires. Why do you need them?
They're being told like, you can't do that because you don't have the proper authority. It's like, I'm putting out a fire.
You were
right
in prison for some nonviolent crime, so you can't.
No, like there was I can't remember which event it was. Whatever this last round of hurricanes was, there was a woman that was rescuing animals and from these flooded areas, and she got arrested for not having a veterinary license to care for these animals.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
she
Yeah, it
saved
was
these animals from
ridiculous.
drowning, and she got arrested for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what licensing laws do. Like,
Yeah.
screw that.
They eventually, because of the outcry, but yeah, it was insane. And I think the reason that they can be, it's not that I misspoke actually. It's not that they can't become firefighters. In California, to be a firefighter, I believe you also have to be an EMT, and the EMT licensure is what prevents anybody who has any record, regardless of what the actual crime.
Oh,
yeah. And we're coming up on time. We've got another few minutes. It's almost 11:30.
all right. This turned out to be a good show.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
We did a little bit of everything. We did race wars. We did double penises. Just Thanksgiving.
Really covered it all.
Movies. Yeah, I mean,
is anybody eating a dose of double penis for anybody at all?
Well, Nicole could have my bent one, but I don't think that counts.
Yeah, that's not too.
No, but I've got a dildo too, so I can give her two.
You can give her the old 1-2.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's amazing to me how many women have like a fantasy for that, and how few of them have actually
experienced
followed
it
through with it.
Yeah.
Like a ton of them are like 2 dicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But very few of them have actually gone through with it.
Yeah, for me, it's like 2 dicks is great, but I don't really want 2 guys.
It's what's attached to the dicks that's the problem.
Yeah, I know. I need that.
It's what?
guy.
I said it's not the dicks. It's what's attached to the dicks that's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Like, why is 2 dicks is great, but 2 guys isn't? Why is that a problem?
Gosh, it's kind of hard to. I guess because like the idea of me being with 2 guys kind of freaks me out. For one, I love the sensation of 2, but I don't want that second guy there. I don't want 2 men on me at once. Like in my fantasy, in my fantasy, that in reality and real, don't want them both there.
Is it a shyness thing? Is it like you're?
Yeah, I think that's probably.
Or is it more of like an emotional thing? Like the idea of. I don't know, because like, from what I understand, like women typically need more of an emotional connection for sex, whereas for men it's all basically just a physical act.
Dude, that shit is not true anymore.
Well, I mean,
on the woman,
it is
obviously.
for me.
We've gotten into this before,
but
like it depends on the woman. But
yeah, no,
like,
it is for me. Like I do need that some type of connection for sure.
Yeah,
and so yeah, I need that connection, and also I can be very shy.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I can.
I'm curious as to the stories behind the responses to that. Oh God, yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it's because we were long distance for so long, and we would go without seeing one another. And then, like, whenever we get back together, I would be, it'd be like we were on our first date all over again for me. I would be, like, shy.
Yeah,
oh, so you have to, like, work to strip you down?
Like, really warm you up?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far, but it was, like, when we'd, like, first see each other, it'd be, like, the most tentative hug and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, bitch, what's your problem?
I'm weird. I don't know. I'm weird. But I definitely warm up quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
She's still weird.
See, that's probably you'd just be shy at first, and then You'd warm up quickly.
I probably would, but I don't think I'd ever get there because I'd be too
put
shy to
herself
get
in
there in
that
the first.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. That, and in the back of my head, I'd be thinking, what a dirty, poor.
You know what? Though? For a lot of women, that's part of the turn on.
And in my fantasy, in my head, that is part of the turn on. But then real life happens, and
there was an interesting study.
Would you legitimately be one of those girls who would be thinking in your head, like, what would my mother think right now if she could see me right now?
I have thought that.
You have thought that?
Not with you, but yeah. Not Jesus. With you. We're married. But yeah. Some of my past behavior, I felt like that.
I mean, if she knew what we did, she would be like horrified.
Yeah. I know.
No, but like there was, I saw an interesting study a few weeks ago where it analyzed like the sexual preferences of different political ideologies.
Yeah.
And what it found was that Democrats really get off to power dynamics, which is really interesting because they're supposedly all about equality. And then Republicans tend to fantasize more about like multiple partners, like things like that are typically like frowned upon in like a religious context. Basically everyone wants what is frowned upon by the people around them.
What's taboo?
What's too taboo?
Yeah. You secretly want what's taboo. So
taboo is hot.
That's why everybody loves anal. That's taboo for everyone. So, all right. So we've hit the we've hit the 2.5 hour mark.
3.5.
What is it? Is it 3.5?
3.5.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, we've just been hitting.
So I guess we're calling it here then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry we didn't have a show last time. To my co-hosts, as always, thank you so much. The show would be nothing. You have been listening to House of Auger. My name is JT. And that's all the time we have. So good night and go home.